Ladies and gentlemen of the future Fandation Nation, and Ben, I see you. We're sorry we're late. There was issues. For some reason, Streamlabs just decides to put the title of an episode that is like 4 episodes ago, but whatever. I digress. Hello, my name is Fernie or Fernando, one of your co-hosts, and with me is Gabe. Hello, Gabe.
Sup? How's everyone doing?
How was your day today, Gabe?
Pretty good. I woke up and there is a winner.
There's a winner?
There's a winner.
Well, I mean, hey, we'll talk about that. So, we finally got Godzilla Vs Kong, which has been a movie that we've been talking about for a while. We've been placing our bets. I've been notoriously Kong. Gabe has been notoriously Godzilla. But it's finally out. We watched it last night. It's fucking awesome. But we will get into that movie at the end. We'll fully dive in and break down at the end. We will do like a first like non-spoiler review, and then we'll do like a get on in it. But before we get in on there, there's 2 trailers that I want to talk about that caught my eye and the other caught the world's eye. So the first one I want to talk about is the trailer for Spiral, the Book of Saw. It is starring and produced by Chris Rock, and it's a like soft reboot of the Saw franchise. It's kind of awesome. If I say so myself, I'm excited. Have you ever seen the Saw movies?
I have. I've seen. I think all of them actually.
You even see Jigsaw?
I actually don't think I've seen Jigsaw.
Yeah,
but I've seen all like the Saw numbered movies.
Yeah. I haven't seen Jigsaw either. I heard it's not that great, but so apparently it's like a soft reboot, not entirely tied in, but kind of tied in. It's basically it's a copycat killer of the Jigsaw killer from the original. Dude, the original Saw movies, if you haven't seen them, the first 3 are phenomenal. They're great. They're like the perfect amount of twist, perfect amount of gore. But then after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the story gets nuts. It's like, this person was actually the killer all along, but this person was working for this person, but this person was also like being played on, but that person playing on was actually the killer. It's like dog. But this guy knew the whole time. It's like it's an absolutely nuts story.
It's basically just Jigsaw being Kevin Feige, right? Like,
yeah, Jigsaw is Kevin Feige.
He just orchestrated everything from the very beginning.
Jigsaw is the Kevin Feige of the Saw universe. He really is.
I think my favorite part about the whole entire trilogy is that when she kills him, because like he's showing favoritism to that nurse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he dies, and then the tape recorder plays. He's like, "I knew you would kill me." And it's like, "Oh my god, this man, Kevin Feige, back at it again."
I remember this. There's this YouTube channel I watched. They're called Pretty Much It. They're like a movie like commentary channel. They're so hilarious. They did a commentary on the entire Saw franchise, and there was one point where they're all like, so. They freaked out. You're like, wait, he knew, he planned this all along. He was like, he swallowed that key, and and then they said, so like, what if like the key, he couldn't poop out the key, or like what if they got clogged or something? And he's like, oh no, or what if in some stupid traps it's triggered by them touching a random panel and a secret door opens, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if they didn't go that way? Is he fucked? Is Jigsaw fucked? Or does Jigsaw have like a secret warehouse of just 100 undiscovered traps just in case? You know what I mean?
You gotta.
He's like, yes, Officer Gordon, you went through the right door.
I have to say, I think Jigsaw has powers that they never fully went into. I think he's he can see the future, so that's why he knew everything was gonna happen the way it was gonna happen.
Man, he's a mutant. He's the first mutant. Jigsaw is the first mutant. Yeah, it's Charles Xavier. That's why he's bald.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Well, so Spiral looks really interesting. It's about the copycat killer. Chris Rock is playing the detective. There's always a detective cop in the Saw movies. Chris Rock is a detective. Samuel Jackson is his father, that apparently was a detective that worked on the. I wasn't clear if he worked on the Jigsaw case or if he worked on the copycat killers case. Not sure.
Yeah.
But the father definitely worked in the cops, studying someone. So that's kind of interesting. Samuel Jackson's awesome. It looks he's gonna get stuck in a trap. You think they're gonna kill him?
Chris Rock?
No, Samuel.
Or Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
If he is, he's dropping an F-bomb on the way out. But I don't think they will. I feel like Chris Rock's gonna die.
You think Chris Rock, the main protagonist, is gonna
like character, like, and it'll actually be like someone else that we didn't character?
Hold up. I'm getting a little bit of lag on my end. I'm not sure if...
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing it on Twitch.
Yeah. Hold up. I'm seeing if it clears up right now in a second. You're back. You were getting a little choppy on the Discord, but you're fine now.
Okay.
We're seeing some little frame skips. Can't even speak. I'm getting human skips as well. Let me know if you're watching and if it's a little too laggy on the chat. It says only a 3% drop in frame, so if you can handle more than 3%, then we're good. We're golden, all right? So, yeah, I'm interested as well. For sure, a lot of people are gonna die. I think if they're gonna do a Saw reboot, they're gonna have to do it like gory and bloody. Like, there's no way they're gonna like do this all easy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's 80%, if not 90% of the cast will die.
Damn, that is a strong.
That is how Saw goes.
That is how Saw goes, though. That is how Saw goes. You think 2 or 3 people are gonna die? Man, no, I agree. I think, well, how many people usually die in a Saw movie? Like 5, maybe.
I want to say like
there's always that first person that immediately dies, like the intro kill.
Yeah.
There's the intro kill. It's always that immediately dies. There's like the there's always the douchebag character.
I mean, in the first Saw movie, no one survived.
That's true.
That was in the Saw thing. Everyone died.
Well, I mean, technically, we find out later, someone did survive. Because like
it's been a while.
I think it's like the 5th or the 6th one. It shows like the dude actually crawling away.
Oh my gosh!
And he's just missing his foot. Oh yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited. I guess we'll find out. It's funny. I remember when this one was announced, the Spiral movie was announced, and everyone was like, Chris Rock, huh? Like because Chris Rock is like a really big fan of the Saw movies. Like he's a fan, genuine fan. So like that's why he decided to like to produce and be like this reboot. You know what I mean? And like star in it. He was like, but hey, it'd be funny as shit if they just started doing stand up. If Chris Rock's just doing stand up.
He's like, isn't it funny? He just starts like,
so this puppet came out, a little tricycle.
He starts going into full on stand-up Chris Rock mode.
Everyone's like, hey,
I
man,
need Kevin Hart in this movie.
First of all, bam.
Here's the thing.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
That'll come out. It's a hell no. Just starts like, going on about.
It's just the cast of Jumanji.
Yeah.
We need the cast of Jumanji. Rock. Yeah, The Rock. We need Jack Black. Nick Jonas. Bring him in. It's perfect. That's what we need. Okay. So excited. Hopefully we'll get another trailer or something. But let's move on from Spiral. Let's get to the one that's actually really exciting with Badass. I don't know if you saw it. Did you? Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr. Yeah, didn't we joke about Dave Chappelle being in the?
Yeah,
you're like, fuck this bitch, and you like kick Jigsaw. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, he's the killer the entire time.
It's just him as Rick James though.
Yeah. And Bill Burr, Bill Burr's like,
Jesus.
Rick Moranis got punched in the face in New York. It's wild. It's nuts. I love New York. And then Jigsaw's like, oh, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
Oh
um,
my
um, so moving on, Spiral. Let's talk about the one that's actually exciting. The Bad Batch trailer. Did you watch that one?
I did.
That one looks awesome, man. I
Looks pretty
have
great.
so many theories, so many questions. Okay, so from what we learned, it seems that I'm guessing, I'm assuming that the Bad Batch did not commit Order 66 because um, that I think that's why they're testing him. Because at the beginning of the trailer, it zooms in and it seems they're at some sort of Camino testing facility. Because we saw the Caminoans, we saw what's his homie's name, Grand Moff Tarkin, and they were like, he was basically just like, these groups need to be retested. They are disobedient. You know, like why would he say they're disobedient? I think it's because they didn't do Order 66, right?
Makes sense.
Because they probably don't have the chip, right?
Or their chips just don't work on them.
Or their chips just don't work.
They're enhanced.
They're technically defective. That's why they're enhanced, right? So it's they don't usually operate with Jedi. I think like with the Bad Batch, like in general. Yeah, I don't think so. I think in season the new season with Anakin, like the recent one, I think that one was the first time they ever operated with like a Jedi troop, because they're usually just like their own small operation. But it seems like maybe like they probably were maybe around troops or whatever when Order 66 was activated, right? And the need for all their brethren to kill Jedi. I don't know. It'd be interesting if they defended Jedi, you know, during Order 66. That'd be really cool. Like they were confused, or like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" You know what I mean? And then
yeah. I'm curious because there's a snapshot of them with Rex. But I don't think Ahsoka was with them.
Yeah, man.
So is that Rex going to find like Wolf and Gregor, or like even like maybe Cody?
I think Rex is gonna get his chip removed.
Rex already has his chip removed.
Or who doesn't have their chip removed at that point in time?
Ooh. Wolf, Gregor, those are the two that we see in Rebels that eventually get their chips removed. So Wolf and Gregor don't.
That's true.
And then they never explain what happened to Commander Cody.
Bro, I think Cody's gonna die in the Kenobi series, dog.
You think he's gonna be in the Kenobi series?
Dude, I heard Tamora Morrison is in the Kenobi series. So hey, if he's not playing Jango, or if he's not playing Boba, or if he's not playing I mean, he has
too old to be playing Boba, and
he has to be a clone.
Huh.
He literally has to be a clone. So it would make the most sense if he was either Rex or if he was Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Or both. He could literally be both.
Yeah.
That would be nuts if he was both.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. I feel like it might end up being Cody though, because
yeah, no, it makes sense.
Rex doesn't seem to mention Obi-Wan after everything happens.
Yeah,
and he's more closely tied to Ahsoka. And I don't even think Ahsoka knows that Obi-Wan was still alive.
I don't think so either. I don't think Ahsoka, like, because there's rumors that like Ahsoka might go into the Kenobi series. I don't think any character, realistically, from the Filoniverse is gonna cross over, because I think people aren't realizing that. Yeah, it is Disney Plus and it is Star Wars, but it's technically not produced by Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau. It's a completely different. It's a different creative team, and that one was the one greenlit by Kathleen Kennedy. You know, as much as you guys hate her, she, that was like the one that she put forward to and greenlit. She was like greenlit like Hayden Christensen and all this cast. So I don't think we're gonna see, because people are all like, oh, maybe we'll see Grogu, and because apparently we're gonna get an Anakin Order 66 scene, right? At the temple. And people are all like, well, maybe we're going to see Grogu at that temple, you know what I mean? I don't think so, because, it's not... I think they're going to want to keep that for a Filoni project. People are even saying we might see Grogu in the Bad Batch. I don't think so either. I don't think we're going to see Grogu until Mando. I think they're going to just keep that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the Bad Batch connection comes because I mentioned earlier that the rumor was that the Rangers of the New Republic was supposed to show that the Bad Batch was still around, and that was like Gina Carano was gonna come across them or something like that. Her character, So that's why some people thought, oh, maybe the Bad Batch will still link into the Filoniverse, but I don't. I think it's just gonna build on to like the aftermath of the events of Episode 3. Really, I don't think it's gonna connect much to anything in the future.
Ben is asking, do you think we'll see Joe? I don't know what Joe is, but I mean, if you're, I mean,
Joe?
I heard there was a guy named Joe Mama, like in, like might be secret character Joe Mama. I'm not sure. Maybe look that up. I beat you to it, bitch. Ha. Take that.
Yeah, I don't know. With the Kenobi series, I really would love to see like a flashback of like some of the Clone War stuff. Even if it's, like, brief. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think Filoni is gonna be involved with that show whatsoever.
Funny enough, I saw this. Remember that tweet I sent you yesterday, where it was saying that the actor who plays Jar Jar will not be in the Kenobi series. I saw this very interesting like quote tweet by this guy I never heard before, but it was retweeted by Daniel Rickman. So I thought it was interesting, and I was reading it, and it says, he said technically he is right that he won't be in the Kenobi series, but you never know. I heard we might be getting Naboo sooner than you think, and I was like, what could that mean? I was like, what project could go to Naboo and tease Jar Jar? Judy Jar Jar, dude. Like, what? Because I don't know. I really don't know. Like, this guy, I don't know who he is. But the only reason why I thought it was interesting was because Daniel Rickman retweeted it.
The only project I can see...
Rangers?
That's possible, but... Ahsoka?
Would Ahsoka go to... Well, I mean, why would Acolyte go to Naboo? And that's before Jar Jar's time. You're probably memeing.
The only thing maybe Ahsoka would be the only one that would have a connection to Jar Jar.
That is true. Naboo. Oh, I would love to see Ahsoka and Jar Jar. Dude, bring Jar Jar back. Dude, I think people are ready for Jar Jar.
The question is why?
Why? Who knows?
What would lead her there, and why would she seek out?
Well, who knows?
Jar,
we don't even know what's
true.
Anything about the Ahsoka show. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even know. Like, all we know is that she's looking for Thrawn, right? Like, maybe she's looking for more political support. But I mean, if you follow the lore of what happened to Jar Jar Binks after he took Palpatine into power, it's sad, man. It's Jar Jar Binks after he puts Palpatine into power. He basically becomes an outcast, and everyone hates him and boos him, and he becomes alone and depressed. Dude, what if we see an alone and depressed Jar Jar?
That'd be rough.
It'd be rough, man. But
it'd be rough.
People would be so... And then, okay, imagine...
It would connect to the real world, too, because what happened to Ahmed Best was so messed up.
Yeah.
So, like, it would connect real well.
Like, just imagine an alone and depressed Jar Jar, but he's still super optimistic, you know? And he's just still Jar Jar Binks, you know what I mean?
I think I would like the idea that he would feel guilty for
causing everything.
For basically giving the Chancellor the emergency powers and killing the Jedi.
Yeah, he kind of...
Like he would have that guilt of, like, all my friends were killed because of, this man that I gave powers to. I
mean, realistically, Jar Jar is the victim, right? Like, Jar Jar was the victim. He got fooled. He got tricked by Palpatine. A lot of people got tricked by Palpatine.
This is going if we're not believing he's a Sith Lord, obviously.
Yeah, of course, because we all know that he is a Sith Lord. But, oh man, that'd be really cool if in the Ahsoka show. Like, honestly, I didn't realize, like, because it wouldn't make sense.
Even Filoni would make it work, where like it would have an emotional impact. Like,
yeah.
100%. Like showing a depressed Jar Jar, and maybe, I don't know. I love the idea that Hayden may come back for Ahsoka as well as a Force Ghost.
That would be sick.
I would love Ewan too if they both appeared to Ahsoka and mentioned that Luke is the son and Leia is the daughter of of Anakin Skywalker, and that she needs to seek them out.
They better, man. They dude. Force ghosts aren't even that hard, bro. Just stand in front of a green screen. Like they can do that from home. Dude. Like I've done green screen shit. I have one behind me. Like it's not that hard. Like okay, yeah. If they want to make it real in depth, sure. Just take them to a green screen room and just have them walk around. Like they don't have to interact with any other actor. They can do this by themselves.
Yeah,
like it's 100% easy with COVID. Like like they can literally be in a room by themselves. They just have to act. Let it happen, bro. You already have them for Kenobi. Just slide them over.
Just bring them over. Like, because I know I'm gonna get like, if Hayden has a scene with Ahsoka, talking about his kids, and how his last wish would be for her to seek them out and set them on the right path. Like,
well, Gabe,
I would start bawling my eyes out, bro.
Well, Gabe, they technically can't do that because of the sequel trilogy canon.
That's where we erase the sequel trilogy canon.
So there is a book that technically is canon that takes place in between the last the original trilogy, the end of the original trilogy, and the beginning of the sequel trilogy. It is a book. It is canon. It's about Luke's adventures and things and knowledge that he knows throughout that time. And there is an excerpt about Ahsoka in there of what Luke will know. And he said that he never met her, but although he does know of her, that he was the apprentice of his father. In that book, they say. But, Disney loves retconning books. They don't give a fuck about the books. So, they could easily just, gloss over that real quick.
I would love if they just...
Yeah, I think everyone would want that,
That's such a dumb thing to do that. Like,
dude, we need more Luke, and we need more... Because, yeah, a scene between Ahsoka and Luke just talking about Anakin would be awesome. Because Luke knows all the bad things about Anakin, right? But he did find the inner lightness in his father, right? But he for the most part knew all the dark side of his father, while Ahsoka knew all the light side of his father. Like she knew him while he was Anakin Skywalker, like the best Jedi in the galaxy. So it's like that would be an amazing scene of just them having a heart to heart about like it would be like Grogu and Ahsoka. How they were just like using the Force on each other. Like it would just be iconic, bro.
And even then, like with Luke, it was more of like a faith thing that he had. Like he just believed that there was still good in his father. He didn't even know necessarily. He just kind of believed that there was.
Ahsoka knew, you know what I mean? Like, and then Ahsoka knows Padme. You know what I mean? Ahsoka's the only person that knows their mother.
Parents.
Yeah, like literally, I don't think do they know? Does Leia or Luke realistically know anything about Padme? Like that we know of?
No, there's just that one line in episode 6 where Luke says, "Do you remember our mother?" And she says barely anything, but like it doesn't make sense because she never met her mom. Like they
maybe just like died. It's the Force. It's the Force.
Yeah, I feel like it's like it'll be explained via like, oh, she. I mean, I'm sure had like a vision of her or something.
I'm sure in their old age they found out about Padme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Organa could have said something. I don't think so though. I think because for the most part, what's his name? Ale Organa or some
Bail
Organa. Yeah. For the most part, it was Bail Organa's like duty to protect them from their previous lives. Like they were not allowed to know. I mean, sure, maybe after they found out Anakin was their father, maybe Bail told them, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Or maybe just someone new, Maybe, or, they could easily Force Ghost. They could just be like, oh, Force Ghost told me. Easy. Boom.
Yeah.
Done and one and done. But yeah, no, it'd be really cool seeing Ahsoka, like, have a heart-to-heart with, like, fucking Luke. And then, hey, Sebastian Stan, bro. Hey, Mark Hamill already tweeted his approval, dog. You don't gotta be stingy about the phone call. He tweeted it. That's good enough. Just take
that comment doesn't make sense because Mark Hamill's literally tweeted.
Yeah, he supports it.
Supporting it, and he's also even like shouted out Sebastian Stan on his birthday, saying
it'd be
happy
so
birthday
funny
to my son, who is not actually my son.
It'd be funny if like the interviewer was like, "So would you do it?" And he was like, "Only if Mark Hamill himself said it." And the interview goes, "Well, I mean, here's this tweet." Like he pulled up his phone. Here's this tweet where it says you can. He goes, "Oh well, damn." Like, look, it'd be super badass. I want more Luke in the Star Wars universe. I've had just that small little taste I had took away so much pain that I had from the sequel trilogy. Like, yeah, it doesn't forgive everything, but it just took so much pain away that I just like it made up for a lot of things. Just that 5-minute scene, and I don't think like yeah, it was awesome that we had Mark Hamill back for like that they brought him back and it was for the first time. That's cool, but I think if they're gonna keep doing him, they should just Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. It was a cool one-time thing to kind of like
honor him,
extend the olive branch over to Mark, be like, here, take ownership of your character again.
Shut up, Ben. I'm gonna fight you. No, he's memeing. He's memeing. He's memeing. I'm gonna fight you, bro. So let's get back to the Bad Batch trailer, right? So it continues down. It gets to like the Camino scene. Here, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and go like fucking frame by frame, and we'll talk about it. Because that is probably the better thing to do. And there's some interesting characters. We meet like that chick named Omega. Did you see that? She's like that little girl. It's a little girl.
Oh, the little girl. Yeah. Everyone's asking who she is.
I think she's the clone. I think she's a Boba clone.
A Boba clone.
I think she's a female Boba clone. I think because look, Omega is the last. Omega is the last numerical number in that like number. What's the name of that? Is that Roman or Greek? Omega. Yes. Omega is the last.
Omega is Latin.
Yeah, so Omega is the Omega is usually like the last thing. Mm-hmm. The child with a strange inclusion, Greek alphabet. Yes. So Omega is usually like the last letter of the Greek alphabet. So her name's Omega. So what does that mean? She's the last clone. The last Boba clone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think maybe she's the last Boba clone. I also think she maybe doesn't have accelerated aging.
Yeah, that would make sense why she's still a kid. I feel like she was the last one that they like experimented something with, or maybe like it was a program that they were gonna do.
Well, yeah, maybe I feel like they were just trying to make another Jango Fett, like another perfect soldier. You know what I mean?
Another Jango Fett.
Yeah, they were trying to make another perfect soldier, another Jango. So like, start them off without the accelerated aging. Mm-hmm. Maybe buff up some stats in her. I think
will we see this kid in the future in the Filoniverse?
Probably.
See, this is where I do think this could tie into the Filoniverse stuff, because that kid could be a key adult piece and maybe like Rangers of the New Republic or something.
Yeah, and she could be an adult. Like introduce her as a kid in this timeline. She's an adult in the future.
By the time that comes,
yeah. So I do think she's a Boba clone. I think she's a female Boba clone. Could totally not be. If anyone's got the theory, pop it up in the chat. Let's see. I'm watching the trailer right now. Yeah, the really cool fight scene going on, just showing off all their fucking skills. I can't wait to see. It looks great. Like the graphic design looks fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They definitely bumped up their graphics since. So it looks like they're gonna be hunted, right? They're gonna get hunted by the Empire. We see them fight a lot of different people in the trailer. We see them fight droids from like the Clone War era. I'm pretty sure at this point in time in the Star Wars galaxy, every droid that was from the Clone Wars era either died or escaped to the Outer Rim. So this could be either them hunting down the remaining droids, or maybe they're going to the Outer Rim, which would be interesting.
I even think there's probably still some like separatist stragglers that rebooted
for sure.
the droids, because all the droids were shut down at the end of episode 3. So what I think is a lot of these like separatist stragglers maybe to defend what they own, or like kind of like still defending and don't want to include themselves in the empire,
Well,
are rebooted some of these droids and are
well
using them
also we
as like
saw
security.
we saw in Rebels that there was there was a Rebels episode where there was a complete base that was run by separatist droids that still thought the Clone Wars was going on. They're all like, it was so hilarious. They're all like, the Clone Wars is still happening. They're like, dude, the Clone Wars has been over for years, and they're all like, they're just like, what? Maybe they're hunting for a metaphorical thing like personal growth. Maybe they have Rust music built into all of their helmets. You know what I mean? Just listening to Rust 24/7, fixing their mind states. So so they fight droids, and they also they're seen fighting other clone troopers, which goes to the fact that, see, look, this is what I think, bro. I think they didn't do Order 66. Everyone was like, hey, what the hell? Why didn't these special troops do Order 66? Let's test them, right? They test them. They're probably gonna be like be tested to kill another Jedi or something, right? And they're not gonna do it. And then that's where it's gonna turn into they're gonna rebel, right? They're gonna maybe run away. They're gonna break away, or maybe at the end of the test, Tarkin's just gonna be all like, they're too disobedient. Kill them, right? And then they're just like, oh shit, well, we gotta get out of here. Like, and then they escape. And then, because Tarkin's a fucking asshole like that. You do some shit like that. Yeah. You just be like, yeah, they're awesome, but they're too disobedient. Kill them. Maybe they try to escape, and then they're now like on the run. I'm curious who we're gonna see. I think Fennec Shan is hired by the Empire to kill the Bad Batch.
I can see that,
because we do see Fennec Shan like. There's a scene where like I think Hunter throws a explosive device and it lands on her car and she jumps off. Maybe she's hired.
I also think because they showed Camino too, so I'm wondering if the Empire's already talking about shutting down the clone program, and the Bad Batch is obviously against that because they see other clones as their brothers and stuff. So maybe they're trying to save as many clones as possible.
Yeah, they're probably definitely stopping the clone program, because that's why I think Omega is probably the last one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, there's some crazy displays of skills. I'm excited to see the action sequences in this thing. We see some iconic shock troopers, the white and red, that are like exclusively for the Emperor.
The beginning of the Dark Troopers too.
We see the beginning of the Dark Troopers. It's super cool, man. We saw speaking of Saw Gerrera. We saw Saw Gerrera. This is the version of Saw Gerrera that is, not the version from fucking, not the version from Rogue One. Where you're like, the package, the pilots, the plan, like that one. They're fucking. No, it's not that one. It's young Saw Gerrera.
Fallen Order.
No, younger. If you
he's a little bit younger.
In one of the Clone Wars season, they introduced him and his young Saw Gerrera and his sister, and the sister dies or whatever, I think, or something like that. And that it's basically a slightly older version of that Saw Gerrera. He's back. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like the internal decision for the Bad Batch, where he's gonna like raise the question to them: are you clones or are you individuals? You know what I mean? I think that's what Saw is gonna like be. He's gonna be like that human rebel aspect of the show. Lies, deceit, treachery. And then he has the fucking. He's just like. Yeah, so we're gonna get young Saw Gerrera. We see this really weird scene where Omega is using this fucking crazy light bow. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it looks like it's the Night Sisters.
So apparently it is a bow from the Night Sisters. Those are nuts. Who knows how she got one? You know what I mean? Like, maybe are they gonna get it in episode 1 or 2, or does she just have it? Like, I don't know where they would get a Night Sisters bow, but she's got one. Probably Paris Prime. Yeah, she probably got that Prime. Yeah, man, these battle sequences look so sick. Oh, and then we have this really interesting scene where it's Rex and the Bad Batch. Um, Now, here, look, this is the scene I'm looking at here that I explain it in the easiest terms. It's Rex and the Bad Batch, and they're looking at some sort of like crashed Star Destroyer. Um, Now, what if that's the Battle of Jakku?
Well, the Jakku is
Was it
Empire. It wasn't the Revenge of the Sith. But
well, this is the beginning of Empire. You know what I mean?
yeah, but the Battle of Jakku is after Episode 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you play it in the Battlefront 2 campaign.
Is it? Oh, really? That's what it.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I didn't realize that's what it was.
No, I'm wondering though if maybe that's the.
Because this is like a crash. It looks like a crashed desert planet.
Yeah, maybe they're looking for Wolf in that sequence, or maybe that's the downed area, maybe where Chopper ends up from Rebels, and then it'll just be like an Easter egg or like a cameo type thing.
Oh, it would be cool if you Chopper. Oh god, if it's Tatooine.
Chopper is on he's literally like my little computer droid. I have him
That's awesome.
right here.
Chopper's so cool, man, dude. Well, I mean, hey, if it's true that if they bring Harrison Dula in as the new main for the New Republic, if that is true, then we might see Chopper live action.
That'd be cool, yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be so fun, dude. If there's so many cool characters, Harrison Dula needs to be a live action, dog. Give her a fucking live action thing. So we see the Bad Batch with Rex. That's gonna be really interesting. Homegirl uses a light bow. There's like really crazy scene where it looks like the Empire is taking over a planet. Don't know what planet it is. People have like looked at the architecture and like, oh, it's Naboo or it's Coruscant. I mean, but who fucking knows what planet it is realistically? But it looks like the Empire is starting to turn into the more like hostile Empire, we're in charge type of thing. So it's like it's beginning to see the transition of power. So it's gonna be awesome, kind of seeing that. We've never really seen that in Star Wars universe. That like the whole like transition of power from like the Empire. You know what I mean? Like from the Empire from nothing. I know a lot of people hate the fucking sequel trilogy, but I think it'd be cool seeing the beginning of the First Order, which we're kind of getting in Mando a little bit. You know what I mean?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I don't think you have to erase everything from the sequel trilogy. Just the main story beats. You know, you can leave like the First Order and stuff in there, but
yeah, I agree.
I think you gotta go a different direction with the main story.
Yeah, man, they have so much potential with fucking Snoke. And then
Did you see what Rian Johnson just said?
No.
About Snoke?
Oh yeah, that he didn't care about him.
He didn't care enough at all, so he just kind of like, I'm like, dog, you had full creative control to do whatever you wanted.
You could have made people care about him.
You could have made him interesting. If you didn't think he was interesting before, you could have made him interesting.
Bro, hey, Rian Johnson out here. Just making people angry and cashing in checks. Because apparently Netflix, we talked about it before the show, but Netflix is trying to buy the streaming rights for Knives Out 2 and 3. Two Knives, Too Furious, and then Knives Out Tokyo Drift.
Nice.
Netflix is trying to buy the rights, the streaming rights. They're going to pay $400 million.
That's insane.
What, bro? And then Rian Johnson's getting a cut. You know what I mean? He's getting a fat cut.
Rian Johnson takes forever for his films. The only reason why Star Wars Episode 8 came out so quick is because he was forced to by the studio. But like, Rian Johnson admitted himself that he takes a long time on his screenplays because it takes him a while to write, his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And if this man is still working on Knives Out 2 and 3, I don't think we will see his movies, if they're still on, for at least another decade.
Man. Dude, yeah, it is peanut money when it comes to, well, I mean, but that's the thing. Do you feel, Ben? Do you feel that Knives Out 2 and 3 is worth $400 million? The streaming rights alone, just of Knives Out 2 and 3. Do you think it's worth $400 million? And do you think it's enough? Netflix is basically a company that's always in a form of broke. It's not like, right. From what I gather, Netflix isn't really a crazy profiting company.
They don't profit like that much. No.
Yeah, it's like it's just like they spend what they earn to make more content. Like it's so 400 million for just 2 movies. Man, that's nuts. Yeah, they gave Zack Snyder 50 million for we don't know if that's guaranteed. Yeah, it's true. It is true. It's not guaranteed, but that's the number being thrown around right now by Netflix, 400 million. But I guess we'll find out soon if it happens. Dude, oh God, because this is what's gonna happen. Amazon's gonna be all like, "Oh yeah, bitch." Jeff Bezos is gonna come out with a fucking zoot suit and like a cigar, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, bitch, 500 million." And then Netflix people like, "Oh yeah, 550 million," and they're gonna like debate for fucking, and then Ryan Johnson's gonna be all like, "Yeah, man. Yeah, man." Hey, okay, what you just said is actually interesting. That you said Ryan Johnson takes his time on movies. What if that's why we haven't heard anything about his Star Wars trilogy? Because they're letting him take his time.
He admits that he hasn't even started working on them. He's more focused on what he's working on.
Fuck this guy. Fire him. Fire him from Star Wars. Fire him.
I have no desire to see any more Ryan Johnson Star Wars. I will see his other work outside of Star Wars, but I don't have any desire to. I mean, if that was his like motto and MO going into Episode 8. That it was a character I didn't care about, so I just did whatever. It's like, nah,
yeah. He got an awesome character of Snoke and was like, all right, I don't think anyone's gonna care about this character. You know who they are gonna care about? Rose Tico. I'm gonna write her in.
Rose Tico.
Rose Tico needs more screen time. That's who he was like. That's who we got to bring in and get more screen time. My homegirl Rose Tico.
Rose Tico and my homeboy Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
In a role that shows up.
Little Benicio's dad.
The stutter.
Toro, you know. homie definitely little thinks. I think he I don't know. He had like a little finger thing. He's like what are you doing? Yeah,
I little teeth. The point of his character.
I mean, like, I hope he came. Like, if he would have came back for something, all right, sure, like whatever, soft tease. But like, nah, he was nothing, bro. He was a whole lot of nothing.
I remember when they first announced Benicio del Toro for Episode 8, and there was already people like, oh, "Is that Ezra? Is that going to be Ezra Bridger?" Everyone was freaking out. They're like, "Oh, who's this going to be? Is this going to be like a new Sith Lord, or is this going to be like something crazy?" For Benicio del Toro when they first announced
Ezra Bridger.
Everybody was like, "Is he
Ezra Bridger?
Is he gonna be a rival to Kylo Ren, like in the like Snoke's Apprentices or whatever?" And
he
was just some dude.
Was that necessary to have the character talk like that, dude? I bet Ryan Johnson didn't even care. I bet Benicio del Toro was like, "Hey, can I add this to my character? You know, add a little spice." And Ryan Johnson was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" You know what I mean? Like, sure.
Like, yeah, the way the whole entire movie went, I feel like Ryan Johnson was like, "Yeah, do whatever."
Yeah, sure, whatever. and then at the end of the movie, like the whole movie, he was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then at the end, like the little boy was like, "I don't think it makes sense that out of the Force." He was like, "Shut up! Shut up! You don't know anything! You don't know anything about Star Wars, you little kid!"
I still think it boggles my mind that like Anthony Daniels and Mark Hamill had to like pitch the idea and just do it themselves about their little interaction in that brief scene where he goes, "Master Skywalker," and he just turns over and winks at him. Like that wasn't even in the script. They were like, "Don't you think it's a little awkward that he comes and like he sees C-3PO for the first time and he's not gonna say anything?"
Wait, that was their own thing?
That was their own thing that they actually added into the movie. That Anthony Daniels and Luke or Mark Hamill did, because that was not actually in the movie. He was just like, you're gonna come here, you're gonna talk to Carrie, and then you're gonna walk out. And he's like, "What? But I haven't seen C-3PO in like years, right? Like in decades."
Yeah. What did I say? Hi.
At least,
My dad built this, man.
yeah. And he's like, "It doesn't really do anything for the scene. It doesn't really matter." And they're like,
3PO.
"Can we do something?"
3PO, open the door, 3PO.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Some people actually think that is the best Star Wars movie of all time, dude. Look, Ben, I'm gonna ask him. I want to get Carlos onto the show because Ben knows Carlos. Carlos I don't want to say love, but he likes The Last Jedi and he admires what Rian Johnson did. And I want to get Carlos to talk to this guy. And I want to see the Titans clash. One is Godzilla and the other one's King Kong. I want to see these two alpha Titans clash. Like,
just go for it.
Because I'm curious.
Did the three of you guys watch the movie together or no?
Did I watch with him? I know I watched it with my friend Six. I cannot remember if he was there. Fuck. I don't remember. I don't think he was. I definitely watched it with one of my friends though. I watched it with my friend Six though, I believe.
I really can't remember. I don't think anybody in my friends group cared for like. There was people I think conflicted. There like, there was parts I liked, but like I don't think anybody walked out of that movie from my friends circle, or from my inner circle that like I love that movie. You know, like I walked out. I was like, did that suck? Did that actually just suck? Like,
did that actually just? I remember. Okay, when I walked out the first time, I was like, I think I was just like in that kind of quick moment of euphoria where it was just like I just watched the movie that I've been waiting for, and I watched it out because I remember there were a lot of things that didn't make sense for me right off the bat. And I was like, okay, but I remember scenes because I think I saw it in IMAX. I saw it, my friend got IMAX tickets for us because he got it for like real cheap. It was like he got this like super deal where he got 2 IMAX tickets for like $5. So he invited me and we went to go watch it in IMAX. So I watched it in IMAX and it was fucking beautiful, right? Like, you know, it was as Ben just said, it's visually stunning, but otherwise not very interested, right? It was like in IMAX, it was fucking beautiful, dude. Like the scene where Holdo like fucking committed suicide and sacrificed herself, I was like, whoa, you know, like with like the sound and everything that hit me, I was like, oh shit, that was like awesome. And I get out and I was like, okay, I didn't love what they did with Luke, but I was like, okay, I was like, I'm curious what they're gonna do with the next one. That's what I left thinking. I wasn't like hating it. I wasn't like I was just like, I'm curious what they're gonna do with the next one. But it was on the rewatch where I was like, shit, this kind of does suck. I was like, oh man. And then then rewatch, and then I rewatched it again like maybe like a week later or whatever, and then I was like, fuck. This really does suck. And then like I started watching videos of people like talking about their opinions, and I was like, that's so true. And then it got worse and worse like throughout the week. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh man.
Yeah, it was. I saw it for the first time with my girlfriend, and I just remember being like slumped in the seat and just like there was no payoff with Luke, and I was just kind of upset. I was like, that's what I wanted to see the whole entire movie. I didn't care if I didn't expect him to be like a Jedi god, but I wanted, a badass scene with him, going toe to toe with Kylo or something, or Snoke, and
not just dodging all this fucking.
It was just like such a lackluster payoff moment, and then like nothing really, in my opinion, felt like it happened. Like nothing really happened. It was a beautifully shot movie. I think if we're gonna talk just cinematography wise, sure.
Yeah, no, like the
great looking shots.
The scene movie, where he walks out and confronts the AT-ATs, and it's the white shot where it's all the AT-ATs, and you just see a little tiny ass Luke, and then just like fire, and they're like blue, 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 and like he just fucking like everything goes away, and he's just like. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome, let's go. But in my head, I was like, oh, homie just did like a force, like, like
a force
bubble or something. But then when he was like, I wasn't even here, I was just force projecting. I thought that was cool too. I thought that was interesting. I wish he did more stuff, like actually fight with a lightsaber.
See, I was still kind of on board. It was when he disappeared.
When
and they
he
were
disappeared, yeah,
like,
that's what fucked it up.
That's where I was like, I'm out.
Dude,
out. Like,
if homie just like knocked out, you know what I mean? Like if you just like knocked out and then maybe was just like on the bench for like half of the next movie, like okay, what if he knocked out and was in a coma? And like halfway through the third movie, he comes back like with the force or some shit, stronger than ever, and then like yeah, you know, like it'd be nuts, it'd be cool. I hate how none of the duel scenes hit the level they do in the prequel trilogy, Duel of Fates and the Mustafar scene.
Yeah, that is my biggest complaint of the sequel trilogy, is that there's no epic duels in this
not only that, trilogy. Look at the choreography of the prequel. Like let's look at the choreography of the timeline of the Jedi. It's hilarious. We have the prequel trilogy. Jedi that were jumping, doing backflips, jumping like 50 feet and taking no damage. And then we get to the original trilogy. Jedi that could jump really high. They could do maybe a backflip. You know, like they weren't doing anything crazy. The sequel trilogy, they were carrying like 50-pound lightsabers. They had sand in their boots. Rey did one flip over the
course of 3 movies.
In the course of 3 movies, and it was over the TIE fighter. Not even in battle. You know what I mean? It's like, if she was a Palpatine, it would have been so sick seeing Rey do the iconic Palpatine spiral. I mean, she's a Palpatine clone, technically, right? Right?
It also baffles me that Episode 9 doesn't even end in a lightsaber duel. Like,
yeah,
the lightsaber duel takes place like 15 minutes to 25 minutes probably,
and isn't it just like
before the end of the film?
And it's just Kylo fighting non-lightsaber people.
Yep.
Or like the Kylo fighting the Knights of Ren. Like, that's not really.
He dispatches them easily. Like, why didn't they just have Ben and Rey fighting with the Palpatine with lightsabers? You know.
Yeah, man. Like, if Palpatine had his max power, why wasn't he popping out sabers? You know, like why wasn't he doing shit? You know, he was just using the lightning. God damn it.
It triggers me every time.
You know, it's like, yeah, and whatever, sure. Like, we're gonna do the lightning. I want to block that shit. What an amazing point to do the Force Ghost. You know what I mean? An amazing point to do the Force, like,
to have all of them show up.
All of them show up, bro. That would have been fucking sick. Like
it would not be my favorite, but like at least it would have been like, oh, okay, at least I get to see all these people again, you know?
Yeah. And other than
more impact.
Other than pan to the stars, hear everyone's voice, and then pan back.
It just would have been so much cooler if they all had their hands out as they're like channeling their Force energy, their last of their Force energy into Rey, like, to make it at least feel believable.
Look,
other than just double X or X marks the spot you die.
You know what? I don't understand. I get it, Disney. George Lucas sold the rights to you, but why can't he be connected? Why can't you hire him back for like a writing committee? Like he's interested. He obviously hangs out on the Mandalorian set, right? Like, he obviously still
is like, his life is Star Wars.
He still loves Star Wars. Why can't you guys just let him be on the writing staff? Why can't he overview? Like, what is wrong?
I think what upsets me too is that, like, not only did he sold them his outlines. They ignored pretty much like 90% of the outlines. They took like pieces of like character pieces and stuff that they liked, and they injected that into the sequel trilogy. But then they had the man come on set a couple times throughout the trilogy to ask for his advice on what they think they should do, and they ignored him all 3 times.
Yeah,
that he was on set. Like, I don't understand.
It's like my friend Carlos told me about a time where like he was upset because like he knew they just wouldn't listen to him, so they brought him into a meeting one time, and they're all like, hey, what do you think we should do, George? And because he was like, these guys don't listen to him anyway, he just grabbed 2 action figures. He grabs Darth Maul and he grabs Anakin, and he put them next to each other and was like, they're friends now, and he left the room.
I would have been upset too. I mean,
like, bro, like I don't get it. Like you know, Ben says Kathleen knows better, but what does that mean? Like she knows better? Like what? Like what? She just like you. Oh, like you think she knows better? Like okay, okay.
She clearly didn't want to probably.
I thought you meant like in the form of like Kathleen knows better. Like she should do it. Like okay. Yeah,
no, it's very apparent that she didn't want anything to do with George's
I don't get it. Like, why don't they just like what's the beef? You know what I mean? Like Disney, there was no drama when he sold you the Star Wars franchise. He sold it because he was broke. He needed to sell it. You know, it was the Marvel with the character with like the licensing things. Like they had to sell it to survive. He didn't sell it because he wanted to. He sold it because the Clone Wars made him broke.
He never wanted to sell Star Wars, and he only did it because
Clone Wars made him broke.
Like, I'm getting old. Like, I'm getting old. I don't have really like the resources to do this on my own.
Yeah. And he put his own money and resources into that Clone Wars show, and it drained Lucasfilm. Like the Clone Wars show drained them, so they were on the verge of no money. Yeah, they had the popular IP, but like they had no money to make anything. So they. And then yeah, like you're saying, he was getting old. He just had to sell. What's the beef, Disney? Just bring him back. Like why? You invited him to Star Wars Land. He showed up with J.J. Abrams, and they were just fucking walking around chilling. Like, dude, I would have loved to been walking around with George Lucas at Star Wars Land, because he would have looked at like Hondo Ohnaka and Document 7 and been like, that's wrong. You know what I mean? Like that's funny. It's not what I would have done. I would have.
Have you seen like? Were you there that night? I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
I was. I think it was called if I wanted to show up for a shift that night, but I had family visiting from out of state, so I kind of declined. But I did watch the video, and I remember even hearing afterwards that they had to like convince George that we kind of need you to show up so that it doesn't appear that there's any like wrongdoing, like. And they did not let the man speak. They let him like speak for like a couple minutes and like, and thank you, George. Anyway, moving on.
Jesus Christ, man! Like, dude, there's so many fans that still to this day would listen to George over Disney.
I'm one of them.
I'm one of them. Yeah,
it's because I have no like. I understand the prequels aren't perfect. Like I understand they're not masterpieces.
Yeah.
But in a way, they kind of are masterpieces because they still fulfill the vision without breaking the original vision,
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I understand they will never be considered great cinema, but they still fulfill what they were trying to do. And I don't understand.
Yeah,
to me, it's like the people hate comes with, I think, just people having these weird, like, talk about like fan theories and stuff. I think that was what affected a lot of the prequels. Like a lot of these original trilogy fans had these crazy ideas of what they thought the Clone Wars was going to be, and they let that get in the way of them actually enjoying these films.
Yeah, I think because think of the generation that grew up with the prequels. We love them. You know what I mean? Like for the like a lot of people that grew up on the prequels. That is their definitive Star Wars. I would probably consider myself one of them. Like I love Revenge of the Sith. It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies of all time, and I remember going to the theater. I remember like that was the Star Wars that I grew up on. Like, yeah, the originals are great and everything, and a lot, and like the originals are awesome, and they're like a lot of them are way better, especially in acting and story. But I think the experience of growing up with your timeline of Star Wars is like attaches you to that version. You know what I mean?
I will still die on the hill that I personally think that Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie. I think it encompasses everything.
I see. Look, I'm on that hill too. It's like one of my favorites, but recently, like just the Mandalorian have been like kind of been going above a little bit. Like the show itself has been going above the my enjoyment of the movie. So it's like I'm kind of like on that point where do I want to put the Mando over? But like if we're talking about movies, yeah, I'm on that hill with you, dude. Revenge of the Sith is one of the best. Star Wars movies.
It's the most emotional Star Wars movie. It is. It has lightsabers. It has.
Oh yeah.
it has a pretty kick-ass spaceship battle sequence at the beginning of the movie,
it's like all one shot. Like it's nuts, dude. That shot's amazing. Like it's an entire it's like what, like maybe a 10-minute sequence of them like flying in space. It's all one shot, and yeah, it's CGI, but like in a render, one shot like that in a CGI render must have took forever to export. That's all I gotta say, man. As someone that does like motion graphics, and like I do easy shit, and that takes hours to export. You know what I'm talking about? Like I can't even imagine a full CGI space battle that's like 10 minutes long.
And I'm even like, go back. Like, yes, the CGI. You can complain about the CGI, but like the CGI was really still good,
bro,
like for the time period, and it still doesn't look terrible.
Hey, I don't think, dude, people don't respect George, dog. He literally invented stuff for the film industry to fucking, to help. Like he was one of the first people to use all 100% like blue screen, green screen CGI and stuff like that. People thought he was crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And now look at every movie.
It's like the standard now.
It's the standard, dude. It's nuts. Like the worst thing about the prequels is some of Anakin's dialogue. I mean, yeah. Now, do we blame Hayden Christensen, or do we blame the lack of direction, or do we blame the writing, or is it all of the above? I just kind of
blame Lucas's ability to write dialogue, because I think that's the biggest criticism that I think has fair point, is that George Lucas doesn't really know how to make dialogue. Even that from the original trilogy.
Yeah, because
Mark Hamill will talk about it all day long.
The thing is about the original trilogy, though, is George Lucas had a team, for writing and editing and everything. Where when it comes to the prequels, he was like pretty much alone on the writing standpoint. So like he probably didn't have people like.
He didn't have anybody like helping, really.
Yeah,
it was just kind of just him.
So. Interesting. Hey, Disney, let my boy come back, man. Just let him come back. Like, what's the beef? Let my boy come back.
It speaks for itself. I mean, The Mandalorian has had the influence and advice of George Lucas.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Infinitely better.
I guarantee. Because you know how we saw pictures of George Lucas on The Mandalorian set? I bet if George Lucas said something on that set, people are listening and taking notes. Because Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau actually respect and listen to George Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like...
They take everything that George says, and they brought back stuff like
dude, that's why I think they're bringing...
unused concept art from the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And used it and brought it to life, because it was still stuff that George had attachment to. He liked those ideas.
I hope they keep following suit and bring Darth Talon. Like,
I want to see that
because
so bad.
If you guys didn't know, in the original sequel trilogy script that George left behind, it was the story of Darth Talon. She was the new big bad of the galaxy, and then it was going to follow that. But scrap, rip, fuck you, George Lucas, and now we haven't seen Darth Talon is no one in the canon. If you don't know who Darth Talon is, she is the apprentice that Darth Maul takes on. And promises her that you will be the next strongest person once I become emperor and everything. Basically, what he tells everyone that he takes under his wing, and she like really drilled that into her head, and it gets to her, and she really wants to be like so she's like this dark ass, like an amazing. She's like a red Twi'lek, right?
Harrison.
She's a red Twi'lek. Oh man, we all know we love them Twi'leks. Did you know that George Lucas is attracted to that's the race in Star Wars he's most attracted to?
I'm not surprised. I mean,
he said he made them because he thought they were hot.
Respect.
My man, George, bro. Hey, I love me a Twi'lek myself, dog. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so. We basically cover everything on the Bad Batch itself. Super exciting. Will be coming out. I bet you $50 they did not want a woman to be the villain. Oh man. Well, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy's in charge. Oh, maybe.
Isn't she kind of the villain?
Oh god. Okay, let me tell this story. Let me tell this story on the stream. So Unlimited Cold Cuts know I have a show called Fast Food. It's a show I created in college. It was like a class. I wrote it in high school. It's like the concept of like a speedster that's fat that gains his speed through eating junk food, and his name is Fast Food. And it was like I made it like my college project. I was doing like for film, right? And I was doing like I had to do the first like 3 episodes for my project or two. I had to film. I had to like write 6 episodes and film 2. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I wrote like a 6 episode structure and I filmed 2. And the whole gimmick was that my villain was a French and a really enthusiastic French French a French TV host nutritionist, and he is his name was Vegan.
Vegan.
And he was my villain, and he's very flamboyant as a character, and I took it to my teacher so he could read the script, and then she goes, so is Vegan like gay? And I go, I mean,
I don't know.
I haven't. I mean, I'm not against it, but I haven't wrote anything for the character. I mean, like, I'm like, why? She goes, well, I see that he's very flamboyant, and you know, he's the villain of your show, and I don't want people to think you're perceiving as a gay man to be a villain. And I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, listen. I'm not. That's not, I was like, I didn't write him as gay. Like, he's not gay. I mean, like, he could be. Like, it's up to him. Like as a character. Like, even if the actor who like portrayed him wanted to add that, like, I wouldn't be against it, right? But I'm like, that's not why I wrote the character to like portray gay people to be a villain. And I was just like, what? So like she kind of made me I had to kind of rewrite the character a little bit to not perceive that. I either had to like perceive that he was gay or he wasn't. And I was just like, I feel like I'm sorry, man. I feel like this is not important to the show, like, at all. Like, his sexuality, like, if it comes up in the show, then it could come up. But I was like to this scene, I don't think it's important at all. And then she goes, well, you know, just consider it. You don't want to be seen as, you know, someone who makes gay people a villain. And I was like, you know what?
That's so weird though, because like. That's a weird thing to be like. Well, we don't want. So it's like, they can only be good guys.
Yeah. So I was like,
normalizing them would be saying that they could be anything.
Anything they want. Yeah. So I was like, interesting. I was like, so I kind of I ended up scrapping the character because of. I mean, he's still my villain. I never was able to film it because of timing restraints and everything. So I like the filming I wanted to do with that actor. He had to bail because of work and stuff. So I wasn't able to write it anyway. So I was like, I guess at the end of the day it was fine. Like, yeah. But it was just such a funny like interaction where the teacher was like, you got to consider that, and I was like, oh man, do I really got to consider that? Like, because that was just my teacher. I can't imagine having that conversation with a suit.
A suit, yeah.
Like, because that's the conversation. Like, that's the conversation you're having with Kathleen Kennedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's like, no women can be villains. Which, again, I think Rey would have been a lot more interesting of a character if she ended up being a villain.
Or at least for a little bit. It would have been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the dip into the dark side. That would have been awesome. We even saw like the vision
at least now you would have put stakes in episode 9 of, okay, well, we've seen that Kylo can't handle Rey, and if he's now the good guy and she's the villain, well, now there's stakes. Now there's is he going to be able to pull it off? Will he be able to turn her back to the light, or will he be able to defeat her? But it's like with Rey being the good guy and Kylo being the bad guy. It's like, well, he's gotten his ass handed to him 2 times prior, and he's not now he's not a compelling villain.
Yeah, hey man, but now and then I hate the story that they went back and added the kiss because they thought it'd be more interesting.
Oh, yeah. So they did test screenings.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "I don't like it. We just dies." Who did they
like?
Bro, God, if you're gonna do test screenings, I know it's randomized, but get at least fans, like of the thing you're.
Bro.
Like, bro.
Had I gotten test screen for that, I've been like, that's gonna fail. Like, I would have been like, there's a lot more problems than just the ending of the movie here.
You're just like, oh, you gotta. Yeah, some fans, some randos, man. And they listen to the randos, dog. Like, man.
And the only thing I guess that they did good was that because apparently in the test screenings, Kylo was supposed to get yeeted off the cliff, and then that was it. Right? He was not going to show up ever again, nor be mentioned. He was just gone.
That would have been stupid too.
And it's like, because of the test screenings, people were like, "That's it? Like, you're not? He's done?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you want more?" Oh, like to me, that's insane that they took that for them to be like, people like this character, and they want closure.
I mean, I guess we could add something. You guys want a kiss? Add a kiss. Let's do it real quick. We'll add it. Boom.
I still don't get why they had to kill him. I mean, sure, I guess, but
it's so stupid.
That's nothing, because I feel like that didn't pass test screening either. Like,
and then I hate how all of them were Force Ghosts at the end. Like, in realism, the Force Ghost is something you have to study in the Jedi arts. Fucking Qui-Gon was the first person to figure out. He had to teach Yoda it. Yoda had to teach Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? It's something you're taught, or you have to study. You have to really go into the deep in the Force. You know what I mean? It's basically earned. You have to hone yourself so deep in the Force that you access his plane. But everyone can just access the fucking Force Ghost now. And if everyone could access the Force Ghost now, where were all the Force Ghosts? Why were there Force Ghosts everywhere? You know what I mean? It's some bullshit logic. It started with making Anakin one. I mean, yeah, technically, but yeah, I mean, that is true. Anakin wasn't trained, but he was just really strong in the Force. He was naturally one of the strongest people.
I think they kind of retconned it a little bit by saying that Qui-Gon reached out to Anakin at a certain point during the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
something like that. But either way, yeah, it's a bit of a stretch to be like, oh, he knew how to be a Force Ghost before he turned to Vader. It's and he just had that secret and didn't tell no one.
Well, what do you mean? So with Yoda, Yoda.
Yoda knew about Force Ghosts.
Yoda knew
Qui-Gon.
From Qui-Gon, and he also studied from the Wisp himself. So
yeah,
that Yoda just didn't become a Force Ghost. He definitely, and he's Yoda, bro. He's literally the oldest and smartest motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. He's the oldest and powerful he needed to train. So it's dog, if anyone can just fucking become Force Ghost, stupid as hell. So before we hop into Godzilla, I'm gonna flash a spoiler alert just for a quick second. Because we are going to be talking about some potential Eternals leaks. Just potential Eternals leaks. Just really quickly, we don't know a lot. From what we heard, there was a screening, and someone that went to the screening basically said everything. And I don't know a lot of the details myself. We didn't follow the sources on this one. But from what we heard from one of our homies is that apparently the end credit scene, one last time, end credit scene will tease. God, what was that motherfucker's name?
Star Fox.
And we ain't talking
Fox McCloud.
We ain't talking Fox McCloud, bro. So Star Fox, heavily rumored it might be Harry Styles. Which would be pretty cool. Star Fox, if you don't know in the comics, is Thanos' younger brother, who is the polar opposite of Thanos. He's a good guy, kind of. He's kind of maybe a little bit of an anti-villain, but he's definitely has the different ideals of Thanos in the completely opposite spectrum. I don't know a lot about him myself, but I know he's involved in the Eternals, and he is Thanos' little brother. And it might be Harry Styles, which would be interesting. Um, yeah, I agree, Ben. Rob Stark is going to be looking real cute, and Kit Harington. The from what we heard, that person. I mean, I don't know if they got into a lot of details about it, but I mean, I gather probably.
So there was a video on the channel called Everything Always, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a spoiler elite kind of YouTuber that talks about stuff like that. He just takes kind of whatever, and he brought up this one that Aaron was talking about, and the person that like the Reddit post doesn't mention like Kit Harington's character or like anything. It was very vague about the plot, about what happens. And then like they mentioned the Star Fox cameo at the end of the end credit scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why didn't they confirm if it was Harry Styles or not? You know, that's
yeah.
Wouldn't that be like putting your foot down, like I'm credible. Harry Styles is Star Fox.
Yeah, you know? That would definitely put your name down in credibility. You know, a lot better than just fucking.
Star Fox is teased. Yeah, like, they don't like. So then, what do they tease? Do they just tease
unless that person just
character without showing him? Or?
Unless that person just really is trying to still leave surprise to certain people, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to completely spoil, or maybe they've said too much and they've already been sniped by Disney snipers, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
So that's completely possible too. We all know Disney snipers are everywhere. They're probably watching us.
They also talked about something like there wasn't like a clear-cut villain in the movie. Like it's very much like infighting between the Eternals.
I could see that, man. I could.
There is no like clear-cut villain, and it's just
think
it's very different.
I think the movie's just gonna be more of like following the Eternals through their life and how they built society. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then if there will be conflict, it will be within the Eternals. Because realistically, the only person that could fight the Eternals is like the Eternals. You know what I mean? Like.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no one that's like fucking strong enough on like the Avengers level by themselves that can like fuck with an Eternal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no one, and then they're not gonna bring in some crazy ass cosmic motherfucker like Galactus in this movie, you know what I mean? Like it's they're probably gonna be an evil one maybe. Yeah, there's only maybe the one asshole evil one. Well, wasn't in Guardians of the Galaxy, wasn't one of them evil?
He was a Celestial.
Oh, a Celestial.
But I mean, the Eternals are technically like the Celestial.
But they show one of the Eternals in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with his dad. Remember when they're showing one of the bubbles and like it shows one of them just absolutely decimating a fucking civilization?
Yeah.
So maybe there is a bad one. Or I don't know, maybe the Eternals just have some real fucked up ideals, you know what I mean? Like, this civilization's fucked, I'm gonna turn real big again. Because I think their real form is like big guy, you know? They have big guy forms. Yeah. And then they could turn themselves into humans and just fucking chill.
This is gonna be an interesting movie because that leak, like, there's a lot of people claiming it's credible and that it's real and it's confirmed or whatever, but it's kind of jarring me how vague it was. It didn't really give too much away about what's going on, and it seems like it's a solo film, not really much of a link besides Star Fox supposedly. And then why wouldn't you not confirm who Star Fox is and who's playing him?
Well, that's why I'm saying maybe that leaker is just either trying to protect his own ass, like maybe not trying to get sniped and lose opportunities, or maybe he's just one of those guys that want to leave it a little bit to, you know, the audience to watch and stuff, you know what I mean?
Have you ever test screened anything?
I haven't. I know you have.
I have. It's such a weird experience because you have to go. It's at a random movie theater. It's like at a movie theater too. It's not like it's like a special like Hollywood undisclosed location. You know, it's like it's like, oh, we're at the Edwards in like Pasadena or whatever.
Okay.
And you show up. There's a line. They put like a bracelet on you that verifies you have tickets for that early screening event, and then they make you sign in the NDA, and then they take away your phone. And if you have an app, if you have a smartwatch or anything, they take everything that could record or anything away from you. and then you
like
go into the video.
Like a Dave Chappelle show out there.
Yeah, and they literally like run a brief down, like, hey, not everything in this movie could be complete. There could be some effects missing. There could be sound missing. There could be, we're possibly not watching a 100% completed film. And like, we're gonna give you these pieces of paper to write notes down, to kind of like outline certain things that maybe like you liked or what you're not liking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch it at the end. Then they give you like a questionnaire basically about what you liked, what you didn't like. And the movie I saw was The Disaster Artist, at the time called The Masterpiece. So, and they did mention that there could be the director, or there could be like cast members there that come out and talk to you about,
hang out with Seth Rogen.
Right. So like my buddy hit me up, he's like, hey, I got tickets, and like Allison Brie's gonna be in it, and like the Franco brothers are in it, and like
yeah,
it's made by like Seth Rogen and stuff.
Who knows?
Like,
Tommy Wiseau might even be there.
We had no idea what the movie was gonna be about.
Oh
and
yeah,
we show up and it was about Tommy Wiseau.
Dude, and you love the room.
We love it. We're like, and then we leave the movie. They're like, how do we explain to the world that the world is gonna change once this movie comes out? Without telling everyone.
The world's gonna change. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It was so funny. Like, and we were dying. Like, the movie was hilarious. And like, I'm telling you, not much changed besides like the title of the film. But like, it was such a weird experience to be like, holy shit, I just saw like a Seth Rogen Franco, movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like one of the first people to see this movie.
That's awesome.
And then like you go home and you want to tell everyone about it, but you can't really.
Yeah. Dude, imagine got you on Future Fandation right after. Like, so
just hopping on.
Tell me everything.
Seth Rogen, James Franco, and I would do it again. It was fun. He did another one with Key and Peele when Key and Peele was still doing their show. He got to like go to like an early screening of like a couple other episodes from the whatever season they were doing. And they were there. They actually got to like just chat with Key and Peele.
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
awesome! I love that.
That's pretty cool. And they're just acting like, oh, so what did you guys like about it? That's pretty cool.
Bro, I saw that fucking awful Key and Peele movie with Keanu, the one where it was the cat, where Keanu Reeves is the cat.
Which one is this?
Okay, so it's the Key and Peele movie. It's called Keanu. And it's this fucking awful movie where they're like cat sitting this cat or something, and it's like this like it turns into like this. No. It turns into like this crazy like thing with drug dealers and people are. It's I don't even remember this movie. Yeah.
Yes. That is all you have to see. It's probably a terrible movie.
And then I think there's like the cat doesn't talk the entire movie. I think there's like one scene where the cat talks, like they're like it's maybe a drug sequence, and the cat's voiced by Keanu Reeves. But yeah, it's such a cringe movie. I saw that in theaters. I think I saw it with friends. I'm pretty sure I thought in theaters with friends. Fucking awful movie. But so while you're talking, Unlimited Cold Cuts actually sent me this picture. Apparently, there is a leaked Eternals Lego set. See that? That apparently is one of their ships on the top, and that's like an enemy they'll be fighting. Yeah, includes some of their like little minifigs and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I mean, they have like a triangle ship. I've never seen a triangle ship before. Like some sort of like little alien thing. It says here. Holy, the camera. Okay, cool. It says here it's like a Eternals aerial assault. Includes an evil. They're fighting evil deities. And explore the Eternal spaceship. So that is their spaceship. Access to the interior, check out the cockpits, the weapon room, the lab. But when the leader of the deviants arrive with his accomplice. So apparently there's a leader of the deviants, and when he arrives with his accomplice, it's time to take the spaceship into battle. Plus, if you collect the Eternals Lego minifigures, this set is okay. So yeah, apparently there is someone called the leader of the Deviants, and he had an accomplice. Lego toy leak plot
Confirmed.
spoiled on Legos. Spoiled plot, but that is cool. It's really cool. Um, but yeah, man. I think it's time to hop into a little bit of Godzilla vs Kong. You came at the right time, Alex. I'm glad you just saw it. Perfect timing, dude. So before we hop into the spoiler part of us talking about it, we're just gonna give a quick little, maybe like 5 minute talk about how we felt about this movie and if it's worth the watch, and without too much spoilers, right? So I'll go first. I ended up giving this movie an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fucking badass, man. The human parts of the movie were definitely very boring. Didn't give a crap about Millie Bobby Brown in this movie at all. I kind of like hated every scene she was in. There was no point. There is a side character named Bernie that was hilarious. That kind of made up for some of the human scenes, but for the most part, we didn't need any human scenes in this. But the movie is visually stunning. Like, holy crap! Like, it looks.
CGI in this movie is phenomenal.
Yeah, they went above and beyond with this movie. It looks so good. And yeah, man, I really hope they continue the MonsterVerse after this movie, which I hope they didn't have an after credit scene, which we'll talk about that once we get it, because I heard an interview from the director that I want to talk about. But go ahead, Gabe. What's your thoughts without spoiling anything?
I give it an 8 out of 10 too. It's a great block. It's probably I'm not counting the Snyderverse, the Snyder cut, as like a movie, like a blockbuster movie coming out this, because it technically isn't. It would have been strictly HBO Max anyway, and it wouldn't have been in theaters. So with that said, I think this is by far the best blockbuster film we've seen come out this year.
Yeah, I agree.
It does what it the title says, and it does it well, and
a very loose plot.
Very loose plot.
Very loose plot, but it gives you what you're signed up for.
Right.
Godzilla vs Kong.
We weren't asking for political commentary on the current socioeconomic injustices of modern society. So I mean, it does not touch anything. It really is just about these two monsters fighting, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah, and it was great, man. I had a fun time. I had a great time watching it. We watched it together with Aaron and Kevin as well. It was a fun time, man. It was just cool seeing it. There were so many moments where I was just like, oh crap. And if you've been following Fandation for a while now, you know that I've notoriously been rooting for my boy Kong here, and Gabe has been rooting for
Team Godzilla.
Team Godzilla, man. Are we talking about parts? Yes, Alex. Once we finish our little non-spoiler version, we're gonna put the spoiler tag on, and we're gonna dive in, man. Because we just want to give people a chance to hear about the movie without spoiling it yet. But we will get to the spoilers. Give us 1 second, Alex. So, for the most part, man, I hope this movie gets nominated for visual effects on an Oscar next year, because holy shit, it looks beautiful. It looks so good. They really went on out. I heard COVID was a slight blessing for them, because they were able to add more CGI scenes and work on the CGI just a little more time, because the movie got delayed.
Touch it up.
So they were able to touch it up. So that's kind of interesting. There's a lot of scenes for sure in this movie where me and Kevin were just like, oh man, look at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's nuts. So exciting. If you haven't watched it, I recommend. Like, it's a nice sweet 2 hours. You don't have to. It's not like, it ain't no Snyder cut, you know what I mean? It ain't no full dedication of your day. It's just like a nice, good 2 hours. Honestly, it's a movie you could pause and go do something else. You could watch one Godzilla fight scene and then pause it, maybe go get like a bite to eat, come back, play, and then fucking go at it again. Yes, Ben, it is on HBO Max, so it's easy to watch. You don't even have to. I mean, or unless if you're feeling fancy, you can go to a theater. It is in theaters as well. But you can watch it for free on HBO Max. So it's why you and I know you would prefer watching it for free on HBO Max. So definitely worth the watch. Really good. So I think it's time to dive into spoilers. You agree, Gabe?
I agree.
Okay, so spoilers for the Fandation. We will now be going into spoilers for Godzilla vs. Kong. If you don't want to know anything spoiler related about Godzilla vs. Kong, respectfully get out.
You can watch the VOD later.
You can watch the VOD later. The VOD will be on Twitch and will be on YouTube. We'll be here. We'll be here, and we love you and we appreciate you. I think this was enough rambling. I'm going to keep rambling for like 10 more seconds just because, you know, I really want you to know we don't want to spoil the movie for you if you don't want to. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You were right, Gabe.
Godzilla 1,
You're
baby.
right. You're right. But, okay, look, bro. Look. I think we all expected Godzilla to win. Homie is OP. He's literally a nuclear reactor. He shoots nuclear blasts, dog. You think, like, that's OP. But, yes, in all fairness, I think a lot of things we predicted we got right.
Yeah.
You know, I loosely predicted the structure of how this was gonna go, which I kind of predicted how the structure was going to go to a T, because I said they were gonna fight for the first time. The humans were gonna help Kong get to the center of whatever. He was gonna get the axe. He was gonna come back. They were gonna fight, and then then evil people would be like, "Oh look, Mechagodzilla," and then they're gonna have to team up. And that's what I said before the movie came out. And for the most part, that's exactly what happened. You know, just cut in some Millie Bobby Brown in between. You know what I mean? But man,
they did kind of do some of the Mechagodzilla stuff. Not the Mecha King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Kind of loosely.
Interesting how they did with that.
Yeah. I hope that's not the last we see of Ghidorah. I want to see Mecha King Ghidorah.
Well, from what we know, the head of Ghidorah. So at the end so what we find out later in the movie, before we get into like the big fight scenes and break those down, is that Mechagodzilla is kind of like in Real Steel. You guys watch Real Steel with fucking Hugh Jackman, where it was basically people were controlling the robots with like helmets. Hugh Jackman's robot was specifically like mirroring, but you know, it's like the psychic link between like the Godzilla and Mechagodzilla and like the thing. And what they ended up using was the head of King Ghidorah, and like so one head of King Ghidorah was like the main hub, and it connected to Mechagodzilla because Mechagodzilla had King Ghidorah's head inside of it. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like controlling it through thing. But that technically means they have one more King Ghidorah head. And as well, they technically have access to the one in the middle still. And Kong didn't destroy the head. He ripped off the spinal cord. The head's still fine.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, they have all three heads of Ghidorah still. So I don't see why not do Mecha King Ghidorah next.
I would love to see that.
So before we dive into the mechas, though, let's go into the beginning of the movie. So it basically starts off with an amazing, like, slow motion Zack Snyder country music scene where King Kong is like this old tired stepdad that's just fucking living his life, like walking around the island, like an old country song is playing. It's very nice and beautiful, cinematic. Then we find out that Kong was in this simulated dome of Skull Island. Although it is on Skull Island, it's like a simulated dome. Because for people what they don't remember, Kong Skull Island, the movie, was like in the 70s. So it's been like a huge time difference between Kong Skull Island and this movie. So that's why Kong has gotten bigger. That's why the monitoring station on Skull Island have advanced, and like they have contained Kong. We learned that the native people from Kong Skull Island that we met with John C. Reilly, those people were killed in a flood, and like that little girl is the only one left of that tribe. So Kong has like a connection with her. It's like very emotional. It's really cool. It's very humanizing, and like the connection between her, Kong, and that little girl comes to play later. It's really important. And I'm glad. I think the human aspects of Kong was a lot more interesting, yeah, than the Godzilla people, because it was basically just like, and the funny thing is that the Kong humans were all basically new characters, right? Like,
yeah,
the Godzilla humans, they had like the dad from the last movie. They referenced the mom from the last movie. They had Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah, they had Bernie and like that new kid. But for the most part, like the storyline was still kind of following the same, and it was kind of just like useless and boring. Realistically, like they were just really there to explain Mechagodzilla, like, and I mean we'll explain about their amazing spy tactics that they fucking incorporate later, but. Yeah, I very much enjoyed the human aspect of Kong way better. Alex says this Mechagodzilla reminds me of the original version, the original version 3 of Mechagodzilla. Version 3, are you aware? Do you know anything about this version?
Let me look it up. Because
I'm not super into the Godzilla lore myself. I know you are, Gabe, and Kevin is as well. But me myself, I'm not super like aware on what's going on with like the Godzilla verse, you know what I mean? Like I know that there was a fight, like I know there was an original Kong versus Godzilla movie years ago, and I know like the victor of that was very indecisive, but that's basically all I know. I know King Kong hasn't really had a lot of like inner backstory besides the whole like island thing, so this movie kind of like is setting up a lot of canon, you know, for Kong, so it's like interesting.
So like there's very slight differences between like the Mechagodzillas. It looks like the version 3 one is the one with like the red eyes and like the spikier back.
Mm-hmm.
And like the OG Mechagodzilla is the one that has like the more human like missile rockets like on the side with the yellow eyes and stuff. And
interesting.
Yeah, like this one was definitely more based just on like Godzilla, and then like there's other versions of Mechagodzilla where he's got more of like human armaments on him and stuff. So like it's totally just like a robot designed to take down Godzilla.
Alex says the version 3 of Mechagodzilla uses the body of the original Godzilla from the 1954 movie, and it had to pilot to control the Mechagodzilla. That was actually one of my original theories, Alex, where I originally thought maybe the original Godzilla died in the last movie. That was the baby Godzilla. Not the case. We know that now. It's not the case, but very interesting. So we find out that Apex is building something. They need a power source. They need to find the Hollow Earth. So they find this scientist dude that apparently used to work for Monarch. And I think they like teased it just with the photo, but they never said it. His brother was on that team that went down into Hollow Earth and died.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that was what teased with the photo. Yeah, so Apex is the bad guy. Apex is bad, just like the game. And Monarch is good. So Apex is the one that are making Mechagodzilla. So they need to find a power source for Mechagodzilla. At this point in the movie, we don't really know for what. It's later found out it's for Mechagodzilla. We basically, they have the scientist dude who knows where Hollow Earth is, but their theory is that they're... You don't even play Apex anymore, Ben. Relax. So the ongoing theory is that there is a Hollow Earth, but they don't know how to get there. And
yeah,
but the people that do know how to get there are the alphas, or the people, what are the kaijus? What are they called? Are the kaijus. So they know how to get back. So they come up with a great idea. Since Kong is like more peaceful, let's have Kong lead us. So then it gets to the amazing sequence where Kong is on the boat. You've seen it on the trailers. It's like the picture loosely based right here. It's an awesome scene. So this is where I was bamboozled, because I was told that sequence was going to be 18 minutes long. It wasn't 18 minutes long. It was 9 minutes long. It's a long sequence. 9 minutes is 9 minutes. But I was told 18 minutes, and I was lied to. I'm salty.
They did do the weapon in the slot though.
What do
You predicted that?
What do you mean?
Like Wonder Woman.
yeah, you're right.
In the slot.
It was Wonder Woman, dude. It was like they're gonna about to see Darkseid. So, we had an amazing scene in the ocean. Fucking awesome. The water physics on Kong, it's so good, so phenomenal. The graphic, the motion of the FX in this movie, the visual effects were fucking great. They did so nice. For both of them, for Kong and for Godzilla, they both looked great. Lighting was awesome. That fight was phenomenal, super awesome. That fight was kind of was the first fight where Kong took the first L. Kong took his first L. They had Godzilla kicked his ass, and they're all like, "I don't understand this though." Okay, if the logic that if Kong leaves Skull Island, Godzilla will find him wherever we are, right? Why did the ships? Why did they Why was turning off the ships gonna make Godzilla think it's over? Did he still has eyes? He can still see Kong. You know what I mean?
I guess just the signal maybe.
I didn't get that. I didn't get what was the logic of just turning off all the ships. I was like, because Godzilla has eyes. He can see Kong is right there. I didn't get that.
Because then they explained at the beginning of the movie that the reason why they built that dome for Kong was so that way Godzilla couldn't detect him or sense him.
So it's
but now he's out in the open.
Yeah, and then the logic where it was with all the logic where it was well, how's he with heights? I mean, Godzilla would still know where he's at. He's just not in the water. Yeah, you know what I mean? Theoretically, by that logic, that's not a taking him off the water onto the air. I mean, we saw what Godzilla could do to jets. You think he can't take out a chopper? You think he can't take out a fucking
it'd be easier because they would be less mobile, so he just swipe.
So he doesn't continue destroying the ships. I mean, I understand the ship thing, but I mean, why he would have kept going after King Kong? You know, he would have kept going after Kong, which I don't get. He would have finished unless he just took him laying down as his defeat. You know what I mean? But I feel like Godzilla would have gone for the kill. But I mean, hey. So after that, it leads to this sequence where they take Kong to the Antarctica because everything in the Antarctica
works so well,
and it's he basically find the quantum tunnel, and they tell Kong that your family is in the quantum tunnel. So Kong goes through the quantum tunnel, and it's a perfect tunnel that is digged all the way to Hollow Earth. By the way, if they had a tunnel that leads to the Hollow Earth portal, why do they need Kong?
Right.
I didn't get that.
I guess just in case to fight kaiju if there were any. Monsters or titans.
But that's the thing. They said that they needed Kong to lead them. But I mean, if they just had a portal that led to the portal, I mean, unless the logic is that they use Kong.
They use Kong to find
fly through the portal, maybe, or to fight the path from portal to portal, maybe.
I think they meant to find the central thing that they were looking for, the shrine or whatever.
Oh wait! Wasn't it something about a frequency? How it was it was if you don't enter with a certain frequency, the pressure kill you or something.
Maybe.
So sorry, someone's opening my door. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I don't have a phone charger. I'm sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
For sure. Yeah, the whole sequence where they're going through, kind of a blur for me a little bit, but yeah, it felt like they were following him through the inner Earth or whatever. They were trying to see where he was gonna go more than anything. But yeah, I don't know, Kevin. What did you get from that scene? They really do just go into a bunch of science jargon and try to explain everything.
My apologies. My mom just wanted a car charger really bad, and she thought I would have one in my room. So, but where were we? My apologies. Where were we talking? So yeah, I think they needed like a frequency, like, or else the pressurization would have been too bad, and I think that's how his brother died. Something like that. But they go through this portal, and dude. What's up with every? It's the quantum realm. Like, what's up with every movie when they go into some weird portal? It turns into the quantum realm, bro. I'm about to make a theory of how Godzilla and King Kong could go into the MCU. You know what I mean? Like at this point, because like that was literally the quantum realm. It was the exact same scene. They went to the quantum tunnel. They went to the quantum realm. Like, I was about to see the microverse and fucking that chick from the my theory video that I said was about to pop up. But, okay, so they go through the quantum realm, and they end up in Hollow Earth. So, the idea of Hollow Earth is at the center core of Earth. It's basically the same plot of Journey to the Center of the Earth movies. So, at the center of the Earth, it basically is a perfect oasis where it's it's basically a halo ring if you want to think about it in terms of gravity. Like planet, like there is land that goes around the entire inner of the circle, so gravity is like fucked basically in there. Things go up, like there's like a form of like there is a point where when you head up and down where gravity just doesn't make sense, where the rocks flow in one lane. If you pass it, you flip over to the other side. It's really cool visually. They did it with awesome. Honestly, me saying it's basically a Halo ring. Like, Hollow Earth is the same visual of playing Halo when you're on a Halo ring. And it makes me excited for this Halo show. Hopefully it fucking is visually beautiful on Paramount Plus. Doubt it, but we'll see. It's cool. It's basically the birthplace of Kong's people. It's where all the Titans come from. It's kind of awesome. It's like this awesome sequence where Kong is like fucking swinging through the entire area. He's home, he's what is home. That's because Kong knows sign language, by the way. I forgot to tell you. Yeah. He knows sign language, so he kept doing.
Our homie George from Rampage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the next crossover we need. We need Kong versus Rampage, just so Kong could kill him. just so Kong could kill him. So he was basically like the idea of he's trying to find home, right? And Kong is like open here, and he looks like the most free he's ever been. He goes to like this, and then we get this awesome fight scene. Oh man, I knew the name of it. The flying snakes. I forgot the name. Fuck.
They had names I didn't even know.
Yeah. Apparently they had names. Apparently also the bats as well. The bats from the indoor castle, they have names as well, because they're a species, so their species have a name. I forgot what it was. Paul from Heavily Spoilers said they're called Kathleen Kennedy. Yes, the Kathleen Kennedys, the flying snakes. Oh no. Oh, hey, respect. So,
they're called Terapus Mordax?
Mordax.
Like the bat things that were in the cave.
So, Kong fights the flying snakes. He fights the Kathleen Kennedys. And he, like, immediately mollywops one. Also, the Skullwalkers are the villains that pop up for a quick second that is fighting Mechagodzilla, the one that comes out that he like literally beams in half. Those were the original villains that fought Kong in Kong Skull Island. They're called the Skullwalkers. So basically he fights the snakes. It's like a badass scene, badass sequence. The US or the humans kind of help a little bit with the missiles. Rips his head off. Kong loves ripping heads off. He
He does.
He really does. He does love doing that.
He likes doing the jaw thing a lot.
Yeah, it's iconic, dude. It flashed me back to the Jack Black movie with King Kong, where he fucking snapped the neck of the T-Rex. Iconic. Now, so we keep going, and then Kong gets to the point of like where gravity.
Nozuki.
The what?
The Nozuki.
The Nazuki.
I think that's what they're
yeah,
called,
that sounds familiar. Yeah. That's what they said on the video. The Nazuki. So that's the flying snakes. Kong gets to the point where he like it's like kind of like the gravity flips, and it's cool because I remember when I was watching it, I was like, wait, is that like a finger mountain? Like, you know what I mean? And then it does like this wide shot, and yeah, it was like a finger going like this or some shit, and it was really cool. I'll be right back again. I'm sorry.
All right. So yeah, they basically do like the Sistine Chapel in this sequence where Kong jumps up to like touch the hand of God. It's a pretty interesting moment. Kong X Mortal Kombat. I can see it happening. Sub-Zero would just freeze the Titans though. We need Donkey Kong versus King Kong, honestly. The ultimate crossover event. Which Kong is Kongier? Well, Donkey Kong has a tie and a hammer and barrels and a peanut launcher.
Are you talking about
what does King Kong actually have?
Are you talking about Diddy Kong, bro? I think you're talking about Diddy Kong.
No, we're talking about Donkey Kong.
Oh, that's the movie we gotta see. Donkey Kong versus King Kong.
Versus King Kong.
That'd be sick, bro. That's what I want to watch next. Animated movie. Where you at? Wait, who's making the Sonic movies?
Oh no.
Who's making the Sonic movies? They gotta make a Donkey Kong versus King Kong movie.
Let me look this up. Sonic.
That's what we need. They gotta make that movie. And boxing gloves. Yeah, man.
Jeff Fowler, get on it.
Yeah, get on it, man. Make Donkey Kong versus King Kong. It's the next versus we need. It's the next big one we need. We gotta keep the MonsterVerse going.
The Kong ruler.
Yeah, who's actually the King of Kongs? And that's how Kong gets the King Kong name.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It's technically not canon. It's technically not canon. It's King Kong. Okay, and that's what gets me annoyed, right? Because they had such an opportunity to do the King Kong line in this movie. You know what I mean? So there's a moment where, you know, Kong finds this big ass castle. It looks very ominous. There is a red hand mark that matches his on it, and he pushes it open, and it opens up, and it leads to kind of like this ginormous throne room. And you know it's ginormous because Kong looks tiny in it, and we all know how ginormous Kong is. So if Kong's looking tiny in this throne room, dog, this is a ginormous throne room, and it makes you wonder how big is Hollow Earth. So they're up in this like ginormous throne room. He walks in. He finds Stormbreaker chilling on the floor. You know what I mean? And he grabs it. It's like in the head of a dead Titan. He grabs it. It's basically a giant axe made out of the dorsal fin of a Godzilla creature. I don't obviously not. Who knows if it's actually the Godzilla or one of his ancestors.
Godzilla, yeah.
Or one of his ancestors maybe, but who knows. So basically, he walks up, and there's this awesome scene where there's a throne, and he just sits down on the throne, dude. And then when we were watching that, if you remember, I was like, let's go, baby. It's the king. I was like, this is it, man. This is his throne. Homie's living. At that point, I was like, wait, he can just stay there. Why do they have to fight anymore? The movie can end right here. Boom. he found his happy place. Is done, right? But of course, human drama happens.
Human drama. We gotta see the title of the movie play out.
So Stormbreaker starts freaking glowing, right? And he's like, "What the hell?" And then it's the exact same scene from Zack Snyder's Justice League, where freaking Gal Gadot walks up to the with like the arrow. She walks up to the wall and just snaps it in. It's the exact same scene. Like, I'm surprised Darkseid didn't pop up and start like mollywopping on King Kong. You know what I mean? So he puts the axe, plops it right into the floor, and everything starts glowing up. And I guess Godzilla sensed it, because Godzilla was in Tokyo at this point in time, because he sensed Apex testing Mechagodzilla. So he shows up in Hong Kong, because that's, he's searching for Mechagodzilla, because Mechagodzilla is blasting the Godzilla frequency. Now, in Godzilla 2, we learned that the frequency is what gets him aggravated. So they were like blasting it. Now, was Apex doing that on purpose? Who knows? Maybe they're trying to villainize Godzilla. Possibly. We didn't get a solid answer on that. But it was definitely weird, in my opinion, that Godzilla was just able to look down in the ground and dig all the way. So basically, Godzilla felt everything happening. Did I say Tokyo? Oh, sorry, not Tokyo. Hong Kong. My apologies. I did say Tokyo for a second. So he's in Hong Kong, and he senses everything going down. Then he just goes. He starts glowing blue. He charge up his blast like he's doing right here in the picture. He looks down and starts drilling to the center of the Earth, like hollow Earth, and I was confused. He can do that?
Apparently.
What was the whole point of the quantum realm? Like, you know what I mean?
Again, thin plot.
Like he could just drill down. Why didn't America think of that? You know what I mean? I'm sure they have a big drill. Like, what was going on? So Godzilla drills all the way down. And it's literally only for the plot convenience for King Kong to have a direct path to him. Because Godzilla doesn't go down. He just drills down and waits. Like, what was
for him to come up.
What was his plan? Like, what if he didn't come up?
Listen, this is where Godzilla has even more powers we don't know about. He's omniscient, and
he shrinks. No, he shrinks. Yeah. Godzilla has shrinking powers and growing powers. That's why he looks smaller in this movie. He goes sloop and he shrinks down. He's Ant-Man. He's Ant-Man and the Wasp combined. So, Godzilla's just waiting for Kong to show up, I guess, because he drilled a hole to the center of Hollow Earth. And not only to the center of Hollow Earth, exactly right next to Kong, which is where he is. Yeah, which is very convenient. But let's not talk about that. Thin plot. So Kong was like, "It's go rod time, baby!" And in the middle of all this stupid human plot, where like this chick, the hot chick, there's always the hot chick in the movie. The hot chick was doing some shady stuff. Try to harness the secret power of the Godzilla power so they could power Mechagodzilla, which is very weird, by the way. I understand stealing the core, which they never realistically used after that, but they were able to scan the core and download it through Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi in Hollow Earth must have been popping. They were able to download it from Hollow Earth all the way.
They definitely don't got Spectrum down there.
They ain't got they got fiber optics down there in the Hollow Earth. That's where I'm trying to move. Yeah, so they're using some Google Fiber. Yeah, dude, we really are. So they were able to download the power source on all the way up, and with the download of the power source, they were able to charge Mechagodzilla, which is fucking stupid. I'm so sorry. I look, if they had to take the actual robot to them, I get it. Like, that makes sense. But just downloading it, loose plot.
Very loose plot.
And I called it, dude. That hot chick, I was like, watch, she's gonna get in the ship, and she's gonna have an off-screen death. She got in the ship, he got a fucking off-screen death. Didn't Kong kill her? Yeah, it was Kong, right?
I think so.
He squished them. Yeah. So I was like, hey, bro, okay. Because they didn't even use the robot, you know? Like, because, like, look, if, like, there was 3 ships, like, if it's like a if it was like a Star Wars episode, like, what the fucking last episode called? Can't even remember at this point.
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah. What if it was like a Rise of Skywalker moment where it was like there was actually 2 ships left at the same time and one got away and that one actually had the core and he used the Hong Kong tunnel and that's how they got the power source. That would have made a lot more sense than the download that happened. So they were able to download the power. The homie that was working for the leader of Apex that was kind of manning Mechagodzilla puts the helmet on, even though he was like, hey man, I don't think it's a good idea. And then they were like, I think it's a great idea. Homie gets zapped, killed, Mechagodzilla becomes sentient. Oh, I forgot about the Elon Musk SpaceX tunnel. Because honestly, I didn't even want to talk about Millie Bobby Brown. So Millie Bobby Brown and her goons, her squad of goons, were not only easily walked into the destroyed Apex base, they found a top secret elevator that led to sub-base 30 or sub-level 30, not guarded. They were able to get to that elevator, go in. They were able to walk into a crate of what are they called? Skull crushers. Skull walkers. They were able to walk into a crate of skull walkers without getting detected, and like they were like walking, being loud, like fucking minding their own business, dog. They weren't being sneaky. They were able to get in no problem. They got into an Elon Musk fucking Tesla tunnel that blasted them at like 600 miles per hour, and they ended up in Hong Kong. They leave the Hong Kong facility, no security guards. They were able to walk into Mechagodzilla's pin and just walk around. No security guards. It's like, dog, who's bringing security at Apex, man?
Disneyland's got tired of security somehow.
They got to figure that shit out, man. You can't have just anyone walking in and see Mechagodzilla, you know? Like,
making a nuclear robotic lizard.
Yeah, dog. Like, that's some top secret stuff. You can't just have any fucking person. Like, they had no resistance. It was like until that one part where they were literally face to face with people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that was ridiculous. So Mechagodzilla becomes sentient, kills a bunch of people, kills the leader of Apex. It's nuts. The final fight before all this happens between Godzilla and Kong. And this is the fight that has the definitive winner.
We've all been waiting for.
And it was pretty sick, pretty badass. The lighting in the scene in Hong Kong was beautiful. A lot of different neon lights going on. There was pink, there was yellows, it looked really nice. The fight was great. Hey, Gabe, give me a guesstimate of the death count.
We're looking into a couple million, maybe.
Yeah, a couple million people probably died, dude.
Just dead.
So many people dead, dude. Just dead. Like, I've never seen so many CGI people die in my life. Like, people thought Man of Steel was bad, dude. This is like Man of Steel times 7. Like, it's
a lot.
Like, literally, Godzilla vs Kong themselves destroy like an entire fucking town, right? And city. And then Mechagodzilla shows up and destroys the other half of the city. Like, millions of people. What's the population of Hong Kong? Can you Google that? What's the population of Hong Kong?
It's a lot. Let me see.
Oh God, Alex, I have not touched Cyberpunk in a long time, dude. I'm sorry. It's just they have to really fix that game before I go and touch it. Yeah, man. Last time I played it, I drove a motorcycle into the wall and couldn't get out of the wall.
Yeah, Kevin got it. Although mine says 7.5 million, and he put 7.05 million.
It's probably what he meant.
But 7.5 million. This is 2019.
Okay, so 7.5 million people in Hong Kong. 3 million people are dead. Dead, bro. At least.
White.
Like, bro, and okay, not only Hong Kong is basically done. Like, in the universe, Hong Kong has to be done.
Leveled.
It wouldn't make sense to have people still live in Hong Kong because now they're the fucking tunnel that leads to the center of Hollow Earth in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong is the new Chernobyl in this universe. Like, the amount of nuclear energy too that is probably just radiating like in Hong Kong from that fight.
That's true. I didn't even consider the radiation because of Godzilla. Damn.
That's kind of scary to think about. Anytime Godzilla goes off,
it's a nuclear reactor.
You gotta shut that whole entire area down. That's not it's inhabitable at that point.
You probably have cancer now just from looking at him blast his fucking beam. Like,
crazy.
True. Godzilla radiation is gonna kill millions more. Yeah, dude. Those 7 million people in Hong Kong, all dead. Everyone's dead. The 3 million people instantly died from destruction, and the rest are gonna die from cancer because of radiation, because of Godzilla. Like, that's nuts. And that's your hero, Gabe? That's your hero?
Listen.
That's your hero?
Water lizard with radiation, nuclear energy.
Godzilla is problematic. Cancel Godzilla, bro. Canceled. That's what needs to happen. Cancel culture needs to get on Godzilla, bro.
Listen, King Kong ain't no saint.
King Kong ain't no saint? What do you mean? He is a saint. He saved that little girl from dying. He was her sole protector for years.
One little girl and he killed millions more.
Yo, what do you think God
couldn't bow down to the king?
Hey, what do you think Godzilla would do against COVID? You think COVID could affect Godzilla?
I don't think so. I think it would melt. Like the virus itself would just melt
from the radiation.
System, yeah.
What about King Kong? Can King Kong get COVID?
I mean, does King Kong radiate like?
I don't think he does.
Well? Like,
I think he can just take it. I think he can just take the radiation.
Is he just massive? Like
he's just strong. Like, he just got gorilla strength.
Like massive, yeah.
He just got gorilla strength, man. And then he probably had like huge ass lungs, so he could probably breathe underwater for a long time. No, he's a reptile, but Kong could. Yeah, because Kong's a mammal. Kong man, could. That's Kong. That's Godzilla vs Kong 2. They fight COVID.
They should have had like a giant like N95 mask.
They don't have a hospital bed and a respirator big enough for Kong. No. So we get to the fight sequence where they're fighting each other. You know, he was able to charge up Stormbreaker with his blast and everything. They were definitely able to get good licks on each other for sure. But inevitably, Kong took a second L. You know, he took a second L, and this one was the big L. This one was the big L. This one was the done. 2 out of 3, bud. You lost. Like, it's over. He ended up
2 over.
He got fucking scratched up real good by Godzilla. He got stepped and squished to salt on the wound. It was nuts. He was done, dude. He was really done. And then, it's basically over. Then boom. That's the exact same time where sentient Mechagodzilla is happening. Like, everything that I explained with the Millie Bobby Brown plot and everything earlier, it starts to, like, happen now. Mechagodzilla breaks out of the thing. Everyone's like, what the fuck is that? What is going on? Godzilla immediately realizes that's the motherfucker he's been looking for. that's been giving off the signal that's been bugging me. It's time to kill this dude. And holy crap, the size comparison was nuts.
Mechagodzilla was massive.
Huge. Like, dude, like, he was so big, I genuinely thought that it was the theory that I thought where the original Godzilla died and they used his body. Like, that's how big he was. I was like, that has to be what it is. Like that has to be a new Godzilla. There's, like, no way. Like, that Godzilla, like, when me and Kev, like, the first thing me and Kev said when we saw Godzilla in the beginning of the movie, we were like, he looks small, doesn't he? Like, we thought he looked a little small. He looked a little thin. He got a Peloton.
And hitting that Jenny Craig diet.
Yeah, Jenny Craig and a Peloton. You know, he lost some LBs. So, it was nuts, dude. And immediately, right out the gate, Mechagodzilla mollywops Godzilla. Mollywops, bro.
Just curb stomping this fool. I mean, like, like, it was just sad that he just beat Kong, and then Mechagodzilla comes out and he just throwing Godzilla around like he's nothing. And then we get this version of the Martha scene, you know? They're like, Mothra, why'd you say that? So basically, they recharge Kong using, like, they self-destruct their ship that they use to get to Hollow Earth. They self-destruct it, and, like, the charge
charged up.
It's like a defibrillator.
Yeah, and it charged up Kong because Kong was, like, about to die or some shit. So it charged up Kong, and Kong was like, all right, I'm all charged up. And then he looks and sees Mechagodzilla mollywopping Godzilla, and he was like, oh, fuck.
Bro, the scene, he's literally... Godzilla's head's like in like a skyscraper, and you just see this full knee up and just start smashing down. It's like,
and Kong is just like, bruh. And then the little girl's like, you have to fight him. He was like, fuck. I mean, at that moment, he was probably like, hey, if Godzilla fucked me up, and if that thing's fucking up Godzilla, like, all right, he's gonna fuck me up. You know what I mean? Like,
he literally just pulls out like a smartphone, plays the Justin Timberlake thing. Fuck that shit, I'm out.
Yeah. No, it's the SpongeBob meme. Real, like, I'm gonna head out, and he's just like walking out. Yeah. Oh man. So we get an amazing display where they fucking fight between Kong, Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, all going in. Fucking awesome. They were fighting each other, and then they finally used teamwork. Godzilla charges up fucking Stormbreaker, and Kong just chops homie up. Oh, and of course, if it wasn't for the humans guessing correctly that they could pour alcohol on the computer to make all of Mechagodzilla shut down for a second, because of that, they were able to chop. Kong chopped Mechagodzilla to pieces. So, technically, he didn't win the fight between Godzilla, but he was able to kick Mechagodzilla's ass. So, if he could kill Mechagodzilla, theoretically, he could kill Godzilla. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
Well, he did have a supercharged axe.
Yeah, but I mean, also, but also earlier in the fight, Kong was able to use Godzilla's own blaster supercharger for himself. He just wasn't able to get the hit off. You know? Mm-hmm. Obviously, now that we see, if he would have got the hit off, he would have fucking killed Godzilla. Like, he would have chopped Godzilla into fucking food and would have ate that guy.
I think the point is that they're even combatants.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. That's what.
That realistically anyone could have won at any point.
Yeah, 100%. So it's definitely cool seeing that team up happen. Fucking Kong destroyed Mechagodzilla, ripped his spinal cord out. And remember, as I said, all three heads are technically still intact. So Apex is kind of destroyed, for what we know, unless there's still people in the organization that are going to try to bring it back. But for what we know, or maybe now that the government knows that Mecha Godzillas could exist, they maybe are going to attempt to make Mecha Ghidorah. Maybe
that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. They're going to be like, well,
now that we know we could do it,
now we got to have one just in case things go south.
The next evil organization is AIM. Yeah, that's the MCU crossover. The Quantum Realm. The Quantum Realm teased the MCU crossover, so now AIM is gonna be coming in. So yeah, man, it was really cool to see. Really awesome, just a badass fucking 2 hours. Just like watching. It was really cool, really fun. I enjoyed it.
It's a fun movie. It's a very, very, very thin plot.
100%. 100%.
But again, I signed up just to see Kong vs Godzilla, and Mechagodzilla was a nice bonus.
Yeah, even though they spoiled it in the trailers and the toy leaks.
Right. I want to see this continue. I do think from a pure like action standpoint, I think it's my favorite one. But if we're going better overall movie, I think King of the Monsters is still better.
I think Kong Skull Island is the best. Is like my favorite, like narrative wise. That one's really good. Now there was no end credit scene.
Zero.
So I saw an interview with the director, and he said he decided to not add an end credit scene because at this point in time he doesn't know where the story's going, so he didn't want to nail himself in a direction or promise a direction that he can't guarantee. That's what he said.
Okay.
So that's why he didn't add the end credit scene, because he was like, he didn't want to set a direction that he's not ready to pursue yet, because at that point in time he didn't have like a future direction he's trying to.
I guess that kind of the people in charge of that were possibly expecting this to be the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess they were going to go based off of what the reception was.
Bro, I mean, I'm still all for them. I haven't seen the second Pacific Rim, but I've heard a lot of people say it's awful. But Pacific Rim 1 was great. I am still all for them introducing the crossover between Pacific Rim and this now. Honestly, they could have used this movie to explain the Jaeger program. You know what I mean?
Just could be. It still could lead to that.
Yeah, it really could.
The total Mechagodzilla totally looked like the beginning. Of it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it'd be cool if they continued, gave us a little, maybe like another solo Godzilla movie, gave us another Kong movie, and then maybe another kind of like, instead of Kong vs Godzilla, maybe like a movie where we know they're gonna just team up from the very start to take down a big threat. And I think it'd be cool at the end of the movie if they get wiped, like Godzilla and Kong sacrifice themselves to kill the big threat, and that spawns the oh crap, we don't have our protectors.
Fuck.
We need to go forward with the Jaeger program, and and that's where Pacific Rim would step in, and like Hydra just coming through that black hole or whatever.
Godzilla 3, the Pacific Rim job. Think about it.
I think we need to remove the job part of
it. No, but then do the sound right. The Pacific Rim. No, you gotta add job at the end. It really sells it.
You gotta add the job.
You gotta add the job.
The Pacific part if you want.
Yeah.
Godzilla 3, the rim job.
Yeah, we'll keep it loose end. We don't want them to think it's too close together. We
don't want to discriminate against the Atlantic.
Exactly. So, Godzilla 3, the rim job. I think. The rim job. That's the suits talking, bro. That's just the suits trying to figure out what it's to call movies. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, overall, great movie. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I mean, I'm not as well versed in the Godzilla canon as you and Kevin are, but when we were talking last night, you guys definitely seem like there is direction still for the series to go. Like there's monsters. Can you name a couple? Maybe.
I would love to see Gigan. He kind of like a more lizardy version of Godzilla. Like he has like a like a Spinosaurus spine on the back, and then he doesn't have hands. He has like metal hooks, and then like he has like just like a visor type, and like a beak. He looks like he's like a mecha type of thing, but he's an alien from like outer space, kind of like
Ghidorah. They already introduced that Ghidorah is an alien in King of the Monsters. So like the ideas of aliens is not even like a crazy idea. You know what I mean? It's just like
Anguirus is a cool one. Anguirus is like technically another ally of Godzilla. Like they fought before, but more of kind of like he's humbled himself and like, all right, I'll do whatever Godzilla says, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. He's like a super like armadillo, but like with like spikes and stuff. He looks pretty cool. There's Biolante. There's just like a plant thing. There's Destroya, which is like a demon Godzilla. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that they could do.
I want to see that giant mammoth that was in the first one.
Mammoth, yeah, those are a lot of like these just random like titans that they made that they haven't used yet.
He was a really big mammoth, and I just want to see more of him. Like, what is he doing? Where is he at? What's
he just chilling?
He's just chilling, yeah. Like he just doesn't seem like a bad guy. He's just a mammoth.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot they could do, and I want to see modern versions of these. I mean, Rodan's still out there, the pterodactyl from King of the Monsters. He never died.
Oh, that's true.
At the end, he bows down to Godzilla.
And then just dips.
He kind of just dips.
Yeah. I honestly want to see them kill one of the Titans and use their body for a mecha. Like, that'd be really cool. Like actually using their... Like, what if we find out, like, the next one, they make a Mecha Rodan or something, and, like, it's actually his body. Like, they captured him, killed him, fucking... Like...
Or it's, like, just turn it, like, more into, like, a cyborg where they can try to control it.
Yeah. That'd be sick, man. That'd be really sick. There's so much potential, and I'm excited to see what they do. The director also said he himself feels that the audiences are ready for a monster movie that has no humans in it.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah, because literally the humans were the worst part of this movie. Like they didn't even be needed. Maybe the sign language girl just to have that contact with Kong, but. Other than that, humans did not now how the movie ended is Godzilla is the king of the monsters in the above land, and King Kong is king of the Hollow Earth, right? Like they're both in their own respective lands, and they're both like kind of doing their own thing. They don't interfere with each other. Yeah, they're just like living in peace in their own. So, it'd be interesting seeing a Kong movie in ancient Earth. You know what I mean? Maybe discovering his past or whatever, or just a movie that's just fucking of like a prequel to the ancient rivalry between Godzillas and Kongs. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
like that's
movie where before humans and it's just Titans fighting each other.
Yeah, bro, that would be a sick movie. Give us the prequel that is just nothing but Titans fighting each other.
How expensive is that movie gonna be?
Oh, really expensive. But hey, if Netflix is out here throwing $400 million for fucking
Knives Out,
yeah, HBO could throw a couple schmeckles at Godzilla at this movie, like 100%.
Yeah,
like, oh man, it's looking good. But other than that, I think that's a good place to wrap up the show. What do you feel, Gabe?
I think so.
I very much thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I'm assuming you did too as well, Gabe.
I enjoyed it a lot. It's a good blockbuster film. Again, if you're expecting some crazy plot that talks about society, you got the Joker for that, all right?
Yeah, go watch Joker.
Go watch Scorsese or something. Go
watch a Spike Lee film.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one just grab a beer, fucking hang out, get a burger, yeah. Have a good time, because that's all this. It's like watching Willy's Wonderland, but it looks really good. It's Willy's Wonderland, but it's his best scenario. All right, so I think that's gonna wrap it up here. That was a good time. I'm gonna pop off this little spoiler alert and everything now that it's done. It was a good time. Let us know what you guys think down in the chat below. How you guys felt about the movie. I would love, or if you haven't seen it yet. I mean, I'm sorry, you kind of just got the whole thing spoiled, but. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's definitely a good watch. If you're kind of just hearing what we thought about it before you watched it, definitely recommend. It's worth the 2 hours. It's like, if you have nothing to do for 2 hours, check it out. It's a fun time, fun experience. It looks great. It looks beautiful. It was awesome. So where can they find you, Gabe?
On Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch, at Foster Store.
Yes, and you can find me at basically the same locations at Fernie the Great or Fernie the Great. If you're on YouTube, our bios now actually have our social media links. It has the link to our Discord. It has the link to our Twitter. It has the link to our TikTok and our YouTube. Our Twitch page actually now has all those links as well. So you can go down the bottom of the Twitch page. You can sign up for our Discord if you want. Our Discord is basically where we hang out. We talk about spoilers. We post some dank memes if you have any, or you can just chat. We have a voice channel in there as well. You can meet other members of the Fandation. And then you could also see us in our live call when we do our shows live if you're interested in that. But you can follow us on the Discord. It is there. All the links are available. And yeah, man. If you're on the YouTube front, shoot us a subscription. If you're on the Twitch front, shoot us a follow. It's exciting to see the Fandation grow slowly and slowly every day. And this Friday, I believe, we'll be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode
3.
Episode 3 and also Invincible episode 4, man. It's gonna be good. We're gonna try to watch both of those before the show. I recommend you guys watch the same. Don't worry, we will have spoiler tags and pictures that correlate with the spoiler we're talking about. So if you jump in, you know what you're getting yourself with you. If you missed like a certain conversation, we have VODs on Twitch and on YouTube. Go ahead and check them out. YouTube, we also have small little series as well. It's super, super little fun. Like, who is Evan Peters really playing in the WandaVision season finale? Or how the Big Hero 6 characters could end up in live action MCU. Very, very interesting couple fun videos you could just watch. And hashtag cancel Godzilla. And I think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, hashtag cancel Kong.
No, hashtag cancel Godzilla, and that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you. Bye.